All right, what don't you like about this whole screen? What don't you like about this thumbnail? Come on, tell me.
I mean, Brian,
It's very good.
I asked you to do two things. I said, get a badass picture of Darth Vader and get a PS5 on there. And what do? You put a Gamescom as the headline, which mentioned no PSVR, was a really laggy stream on their end, and then you have a guy in like a PC VR headset. And then you've got the most boring picture of Darth Vader that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no,
I expect a lot more.
Definitely wasn't listening when you told me what to do because who runs this show? That's right, it's me. Speaking of which, cue the cat.
Make it so, because I want to say what's up to that game cat in the chat. Zombie Cake says noise. Gaming legends with the eyeballs. Thorns, the game cat. Robbie B, the English game cat. Elvert, what's up, dude?
Why does Thorns taste so salty?
Elvert says, honor and duty session after the Gamescast. Be on the lookout for that. Make sure you join our Discord. Robert Sullivan, I must say, Brian got me ready to play Afterlife today, but that I will not be until 2021. But as always, give it up to Brian, the Pizza Man. Acefield, the Attack
Pizza
Cat,
Man
says happy Thursday. Game Cat, Army Swipe. Johnny Ripe off the Stray Cat. Darth Vader's in the house. I'm sorry, Vader. I tried to tell him, but he didn't listen. Give to the Game Cat, our new scooper. Colt 45, Rayman 88, and Corix the Game Cat. What's going on here? Big Fat Frog 1909, Basic Raisin, Nick Milo, one of the 15 mugs. Bogeyman Productions, what's up, dude? David Moore, Steve IRE from Ireland, Roy Swartz, Skysun, fist bump to you. You got cold, yo. Dennis Mancuso, Delirium Drew VR, The Triangulator, what's up, my dude? Wink Rogers, the Game Cat, Duran Fan, VR, the Game Cat, what is up, my dude? James, Sinner 669, the Unholy Game Cat, Povey and Lion, Inzadi, Sue Miles, Red Fox, Romero, Matthew 1164, and a $10 donation from the Triangulator says, let's get this thing started. Love you guys. Love you too, man.
Thank you so much, Triangulator. That's, what a great way to get the show started. By telling me how bad I am at my job, and then somebody gives us money. That's good stuff. This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every Thursday night at midnight. Holy crap, that's fucking.
We did one time. There was one time where we did.
Was there one time? That was just a line that's like been engraved in my mind from the Midnight Gamescast days. We film every Monday night at midnight. We bring it to you, but we bring it to you live. That's what we do, and that's what live means. It's right now, right here, right now. My name's Brian Paul from this channel right here without parole, and the gentleman to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave's Station, the VR.
Hello. I hope you guys are all having a great Thursday evening. And I hope you're ready to talk for a long time about video games.
That was only slightly better than your viewer takeover introduction.
Hey, fuck off, man.
And that guy on the far right-hand side of the screen, at least it only took one take this time, AJ from The Underground, PSVR.
I don't get second takes in this.
No one
What's
gets
up, Brian?
takes.
Dave Gamecats. I love just the feeling when there's an event, even though, this was Gamescom, and was just, random stuff, no PSVR, no huge PSVR stuff. Still, that atmosphere that just it brings it's a time for me where I just feel like I love video games. I love celebrating video games, and it's just got me in one of those good moods, man.
So like, it's got the E3 vibe to it, where it's like there's just electricity in the air.
Yes, for me, man. I just get hyped about video games. I love video games.
Nice. I think that's why we're all here, AJ. We all love video games. Very good stuff. It's a great way to start the show. A little housekeeping before we actually get going. I want to make sure that everyone joins the Discord by clicking that link in the description below. I'm sorry. I sort of heard what you were saying. There's an Honor and Duty game happening after the show. Is that what I heard? Yes.
According to one of the game cats, was Elvert was saying that there's an Honor and Duty session after the show.
Elvert's a pretty trustworthy dude. I would say if Elvert said it, it's probably true. So make sure you join Discord and find out where and when that game is happening. 16v16, 32 players, guys. I'm sure there's room for everybody. So jump in, check that out. And anyone like, oh man, actually somebody literally just asked me the other day. They're like, I just got this game, Honor and Duty D-Day. And it sounds just like your voice. I was like, yeah, that is totally true. They're like, but no one's ever playing. And I was like, so hopefully you're watching that, and hopefully you're going to get in on that game tonight. He's Australian though, so he's probably going to be sleeping.
Yeah, he's asleep.
All right, guys, what do you say we dive straight into the news because we got a lot of news to talk about today.
We should begin the show we do each and every week, Brian.
I don't.
Oh, you almost skipped your favorite segment, Brian.
This is my favorite segment. Who lets me?
You're the one who came up with it, right? Didn't you come up with it?
I mean, yeah, like
See,
3 years
this
ago.
is why I try to tell you what to do, Brian, because you can never remember your own rule.
Without AJ,
I have to remind
without
you.
AJ, we wouldn't have a show.
I'm so
I want you
old.
guys to know AJ is the glue. Everyone in the chat should know AJ is the
No,
glue.
please stop. Please stop.
AJ's the glue, and I sniff the glue. And Dave, what do you do, Dave?
Brian, you're the glue, or you're the horse that they make the glue out of.
Oh,
I think at some point, yeah, he takes some of what you did, puts it all together with the glue.
It's getting kind of kinky in here.
it's getting
I
kind
don't
of
know.
kinky in here.
But as far as what I do, nothing.
Let's not show the way we begin every single show with a game of should we or shouldn't we when we put 60 seconds on the clock and the clock up on the counter the way that the Sofa King likes it. And it's our turn down here, time down here to tell you, the loyal game cats out there, whether you should or should not be doing and or playing and or watching the things that we've been doing and or playing and or watching. Who wants to go first?
Real quick, Imzadi's in the chat and says, "No, we are awake. It's 8 a.m. here in Australia."
Excellent. Good to know.
So wait, where's Australia again?
8
On the
a.m.
other side, it's over there somewhere.
It's at 8
you go
a.m.
Go around the circle for a while.
Is it near China?
Just keep walking until you see the time is 8 a.m.
Listen,
Take a left in China.
When you were 5 and you were digging in your backyard, weren't you like, I'm going to dig a hole to China? That's like got to be directly on the opposite side. But is it maybe Australia's on the opposite side of us? I don't know. Somebody didn't. I went to public school. Somebody didn't teach me geography properly. Who wants to go first? Thank you, Imzadi. I didn't know Imzadi was Australian.
Some people have some suggestions. I'm the gravy, or I'm the meat in a sexy sandwich.
I'll go first, Brian.
Thank God. On your mark, get Dez. Go.
So I finally finished up the DLC for Borderlands 2 called Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. And man, it was like 10 hours long. It was an absolute blast. And this Borderlands 2 experience just continues to get better and better. I think next time on the next top 25 list, I will be fighting for it to be a little higher on the list. Because this whole DLC pack was bigger than most full games. And, using the aim controller, it's fantastic. And next, I will be going on to the DLC pack with Pirates. So really, really excited for that. And I've also still been watching Star Trek Next Generations. But Borderlands 2 is a should we. Next Generations is a should we. Been playing some Dreams, and we got some Dreams to talk about today. And that's also a should we. Fish Laser. And yeah, just everything is awesome. And video games are great. I'm sure I had something else too.
You got it. Perfect. Just perfect. All right, David.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No
I mean,
choice.
if you're ready.
I'll think of something. No,
Okay.
I got it.
On your mark, get Dez. Go.
All right. So I think last week I talked about a show called High Score that was on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a retro video game documentary, and I was in the mood for more stuff like that. That would be fun to watch because we just watched King of Kong on the movie night and this Man vs. Snake.
So good.
I'm like, let's do some cultural, some pop culture documentaries. And I found this thing called The Toys That Made Us. It's been out, I think, 3 seasons now. And some of the stuff I was initially totally uninterested in. Like, I never played with a He-Man toy. I never watched a He-Man cartoon. But the episode about He-Man was really interesting because the way that they go into the backstory and, like, how the toy industry works and how all these tie-ins and, like, these famous cartoons that we lived our life with, half the time we're just there to sell a toy that somebody had cooked up in a laboratory somewhere else. And it's cool to see all the stuff that went into making, not only that, but there's like a Star Trek episode, there's a Star Wars episode, there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode, which is huge for me because I had all those toys as a kid. And is something wrong? Oh, I'm timing down. Okay. It's a good show. You should watch it.
Dude, Toys That Made Us is
My
a
Little Pony
great choice.
episode.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode was amazing. We need to stop the show though.
Yes.
Maybe for the rest of the night, I want to Darth Vader with the $99.99 donation. And when I saw the number come up, I was like, I feel like I need to issue a refund. He said, "Hello, Brian. I just want to say thank you to you and everyone for inviting me into this community. It's changed my life. You all make me happy. You make me laugh. I don't know what I'd do without y'all. I love you all so much." We love you very much too, Darth Vader. We also want to remind everybody that like you work really hard for your money, like, and we want to make sure that like you know that we love you and we want you here, with or without your checkbook. Like this is it. So thank you so very much, Darth Vader. But that is like a lot of money. So.
Yeah, it's been a blast having you here, man, and we're so excited to talk about Vader Immortal. I know that's been a huge thing. He was telling me how it changed his life. It was a life-changing experience. So cannot wait to talk about your game that you're featured in.
I think it's only right.
Fuck you for that $100 tip. Thank you so much, Darth Vader. You got the tree guy. I had to dig him out. I thought he had disappeared. I figured since we stopped using him, he was like resenting us and he ran away and hid somewhere.
And I know that feeling, man, because I was once just a lonely gamer with nobody to talk to and nobody to talk PSVR with. And now I get to live the dream and talk PSVR every single goddamn day with you guys. Yeah. And it's amazing.
Right. 100%. Totally agree. This is man, I get so much random shit that I want to talk about. So let's hopefully it makes a good should we or shouldn't we? On my mark, get Des, go. First of all, you should not change what your cat is eating if things are going well. Right? I was concerned because she would wake me up. Tornado would wake me up at like 5 o'clock in the morning every day. Like she'd be like pawing my face, like real gentle and stuff. And then she'd lick my lips, and I see her, cleaning herself. I know where that tongue has been, and I was like, I don't want that on my face. So I was like, it's like maybe. And like wet food doesn't last that long. You can't have it sitting out for hours on end. So I changed. I was like, at night, I'll get dry food just to give her at night, and so it can I can fill up the bowl and it'll stay there, and she'll wake up in the morning and she can eat and maybe go back to bed and let me sleep. Now she won't eat wet food at all. She only eats dry food. She will leave if I don't give her anything else all day. Right? Wet food I thought was like the delicacy. Huh. And all she eats is dry food now.
Carlos freaks out if he sees food.
Yeah. So shouldn't we switch cat food? That was it. Tornado is nonstop, like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. But that was just the weirdest oddity ever. I don't even know what to do about it. And now I've got a case of like really nice wet food for her. And I'm like, and I was like, well, if I just leave it in the bowl, she'll eat it eventually. Or if this is the only thing I give her, she'll eat it eventually. Not the case. This cat would rather starve than eat the thing that she's eaten her entire life and loved until now. I don't know what to do, man. So I guess it's dry food from now on. At least it stays in the bowl, and I think it's cheaper. That's it. That's all I got.
All right.
I'm
picturing that meme where it's like friendship ended with wet food. Now dry food is my best friend. Have you guys seen this meme before? Yeah.
Oh man. So anyway, that's my tornado story for the day.
Well, Carlos would love the wet food if you want to send it over. He'll eat it all. And he'll go right back to dry food as soon as he's done. He won't give a shit.
I hope it lasts a long time. Hopefully Tornado will grow out of this like stubborn, rebellious phase. And eventually she'll just be like, sure, whatever you want to give me.
The only thing Carlos won't eat is like organic, like fancy food. One time I got him stuff from like Whole Foods or something, and he just will not even look at it.
At least we know Carlos is not a snobby cat.
He's not snobby at all.
It's nice.
He likes Meow Mix, just like your regular everyday blue collar cat.
Ooh, Beard of Power 666 says try mixing wet and dry food.
Interesting.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Cats are picky, Wargarble. Very good call. All right. What do you think? Should we dive into the news, gentlemen?
It is time to talk about some things. We've got 13 things to talk about today for news stories, including some of the latest on PS5, which we're going to start with. Gamescom was today and had a little surprise for us. A couple other releases, games, and of course, a huge release that came out at the end. No, to this week, and that is Vader Immortal. And then there's also a giant sale. What are you orchestrating?
It's in the actual baker's dozen. 13.
Is it really?
Yeah, 13 items on the news.
We're very excited to say that.
So, I was just waiting for my turn. I didn't want to interrupt. I was like, any second, I get to.
All good. Okay. So first, starting with the PS5 stuff, two different things. Number one, there's an email that's been going around from PlayStation, and they've basically been saying, hey, when pre-orders go live, you can register here by entering your PSN name, and we will give you a random chance to be one of those that can pre-order it directly through us. So I think everybody's gotten that email. So check your emails.
No, I haven't. So
Nope,
here's the
neither
thing.
have I.
If you didn't get the email, there's a link you can go to, and you can still sign up for it. Now, I don't know if that means you have a lower chance because they didn't invite you to the sign up, but you can still put in your PSN if there's a link somebody posted on Twitter. And I can
There's
find
one in our Discord too.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So even if you didn't get the email, click on that, sign up just in case,
I'm just going to be ready.
Mine right now. I'm like, maybe they sent it to me late. I don't know.
Like, of course, I'll be eyeballing Amazon first. But if I get an email from them saying, "Hey, you can pre-order directly through us," then yeah, absolutely, I'll do it through them.
Well,
Dude, if I was Sony, I would look at all the people and I would say, how many games do they have in their library?
Oh, I'd be like top of that list.
This Dave Station guy has 450 games in his library. Send him the first pre-order because you know he's going to buy that thing like immediate.
Yeah. We got I didn't get the email, and honestly, like, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I would much rather get it through Amazon, but because I've never actually bought anything physical from the PlayStation Store, the Sony Store, and so I don't. Do they have like release day delivery? Like, can they even deliver on the same promises that Amazon has?
I don't want to assume that because Sony's sending these out means that Sony will be the one specifically mailing them to you and you pay Sony. Like, they might have some affiliates like Best Buy or Amazon where as soon as those are ready to go, they'll send you a link to, do you want a Best Buy order or an Amazon order or a Target order or whatever, and then it's still through the physical retailers because Sony doesn't have they've never done that. They don't sell stuff directly to consumers.
Well,
as far as I know, right? Like,
it's fairly new. If you the stuff that's been on their site, if you go to PlayStation.com, it's fairly new that they've been selling retail games, that they've been selling consoles, Move controllers, VR headsets, and you click on it
directly on the website,
and it says it's either available directly or they give you a list of affiliates, like you said. And so
they might do both. I don't know.
I'm a little curious to see what's going on there. And Amazon, but again, Amazon is my go-to, and I get more. I've got an Amazon credit card, and I get more cash back using it that way. When I buy stuff on Amazon itself, I still get a little bit of cash back when I buy from other places. So there's so many incentives, including release day delivery, to buy from Amazon. And I'm like, if I'm not getting that from Sony, the question is, of course, do we run the risk of not getting one if we wait, right? If you wait for Amazon.
The other thing is, there's release day delivery and all that, but I would hope there would be an option for like GameStop or Best Buy where you could do like a midnight pickup.
That'd be nice.
Because with release day delivery, it's like, when on release day are you delivering this? And I'm sitting around all day like, when's my PS5 coming? And if it shows up at like 10 p.m. or something, I'm like, fuck, I wasted my whole day sitting around for that.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just go to a store at midnight or the morning it comes out, grab it, walk out, you got it, you know when you're going to get it.
I'd be okay with either. My deliveries are pretty good, and they're really good about telling me when to expect it to. So that's the other thing. Yeah. Real quick, I'm sorry. I know we get right back into this conversation, but I don't want Johnny Pop the Stray Cats rare tip to go by the $7 Canadian saying keep the dry food for a month, and then she will want the wet food again. It's all right to change the two up from time to time. Thank you. Man,
I would love that if you bought. I would love if you bought from PlayStation directly that you get like a special like PlayStation box or something, or like a sticker or emblems or something. That would be really cool to have. Some swag, some PlayStation swag.
Have Shuhei sign it.
I was just thinking the exact
or just
same
have
words in
Shuhei,
my brain, Brian.
or just have Shuhei like come with it and like you could live with me now, Shu. I'll let you play Fall Guys. Just stay in the corner. Be a good Shu.
I think Shuhei would be an awesome roommate. And by roommate, I mean like you'd have to sleep in the same bed because my place is that small. So I hope he doesn't mind being the small spoon.
I think you could stay at his place. It's probably a lot bigger than yours.
I don't want to leave.
Oh, okay.
That'd be awful.
All right, so yeah, just like I said, keep an eye on there, and if you don't see it in your immediate folder, check your promotions folder. That's where it was in mine. It wasn't in my main inbox.
And then check your local PSVR without Parole Discord server if you don't have it in either one of those.
Yes. So in other news, there is a new rumor about some of the hardware that has been found in the PlayStation 5 due to a certificate that was leaked and has been translated. And this comes from multiple sources. I'm going to go with my dude, Max Ledroom, who actually got us the info about Immortal
Legacy.
Mortal Blitz Combat Arena, and that ended up being spot on. And he's usually pretty good about these things, but this is just a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. But he says the rumors take more force, and is that a new leak on PlayStation 5 would point to the fact that the new PlayStation VR2 headset is getting closer to being wireless. It says although the information about the PS5 and its support for PSVR is coming to us with the dropper, the dossier appeared on Brazilian website Tecnoblog and shared on the networks by Twitter user Ronan Strife, who would strengthen the idea of PlayStation VR without cables. We also had Tech Noir, who just chimed in on it and said, so the emergence of Wi-Fi 6 built into the PS5 is real. Also, none of the disclosure requests. I'm sorry. He said also the non-disclosure request Sony sent the FCC is real. And they just go on. So they believe that the next generation headset, that the PS5 at least has the hardware using this module chip, is capable of being wireless.
Well, so I'll tell you this. I use this thing called Virtual Desktop on my PC with the Quest. And that's over my 5G wireless connection because I have my PC hardwired into the router, and then it just broadcasts it over wireless on 5G. And
Right.
that is basically, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like 100% perfect for a consumer product, but it's close enough that if you tried to tweak that enough to get it so it was like latency free and pretty much lossless or, minor compression, it works, man. Like over 5G, you can do that. So I think it's feasible, but I don't know that we'll see wireless as the first iteration of the PSVR2. I'd be surprised if like right out the gate it's wireless, but I like to be surprised. So.
Yeah, I'd like to be surprised as well. I'm like trying to put this entire thing up on the screen, but the only way it was legible, it would be if I zoomed it all the way up and it's covering the entire screen, and I'm slowly scrolling it up for everybody to see. And there we go. Now it's all been exposed. You can all see what's going on here. Dude, I gotta say real quick that I was playing Beat Saber the other day, and for the first time ever, I was like, the wire was getting in the way, and I was like, what's going on right now? I was like, this has never been an issue. Like I've just been, I've never been the guy to be like, oh, it needs to be wireless. But I'm slowly getting on board and being like, yeah, maybe it needs to be wireless next gen. I'm ready for it.
I was going to ask, Dave completely replied with exactly what I was going to ask him because I know he'd been using that wireless streaming technology with his PC setup and was going to see how that was going. Sounds like, I mean, in some cases you were like, it works better than the cable.
I didn't like the cable. Yeah. So in this case, it's a little different because the Quest Link cable is more uncomfortable. The Quest itself is all more uncomfortable than the PSVR. But with the Link cable, there's this added I was feeling like a hang on the left side of my head, like I was being tugged down this way a little bit because it's pulling. And so like I always was kind of adjusting this way, and it was just more uncomfortable than it needed to be. Also, some stuff actually just ran better through Virtual Desktop.
Right.
But that doesn't prove anything about the PSVR2 specifically. That's just those two programs. But other than you can do it over 5G to a reasonable degree of quality that I think people would be like, okay, this works. Like if it was an option, maybe like you have a corded one that you can unplug and then say, let's go wireless and see, maybe it's a little compressed. Maybe there's like a tiny bit of delay, but it's still good enough to play with. And that's the trade-off,
There is a huge divide between the VR base where it's like, some 50% want the cable with the more power. That's kind of where I fall. And then the other 50% want wireless, and especially a lot of people that don't have VR yet really want wireless. To me, it's.
But would this Wi-Fi like solution actually put people into two camps and be like, oh man, this is wireless but it doesn't have the power? Wouldn't this just mean it's actually using the power from the PlayStation 5 and just in doing that wirelessly?
Well, yeah. What I'm saying is it would be a commercial release that was immediately what the Oculus Quest Link or the wireless version with Virtual Desktop was offering to people. Like, hey, here's this headset that you can have it wired if you want, or you can do it wireless. And if you have it wired, you might get a little more power. It's going to be a little, less latency or whatever. But wireless, you get the, wireless experience. I think it could easily be a hybrid, which would be really cool. Decide if you want to play wireless or just get the full experience and say, I can deal with a wire. Let's go, balls to the wall.
Yeah. That's the thing. I know they wanted to make it like lighter and stuff, and make it as comfy. I would definitely want. I think the hybrid is the best of both worlds, because this the thing is I play games in VR sometimes for like 5-10 hours. I mean, I literally play like like 10-hour sessions sometimes, with small breaks in between, just like 5-minute breaks in between. So I have to have like some kind of option to keep it plugged in to be able to play those long sessions.
Sure.
And yeah, but if it does have the wireless technology, it probably have some new kind of tracking, probably inside out tracking or something that's not done yet. But from the sources that I've gathered info from, which has been several different ones, but one of the ones that gave me some specifics has been pretty reliable on some of the stuff he's predicted or said that was going to happen, and it did actually come true. He told me there was going to be announcements at State of Play for PSVR in August, and there was, and he said a couple other things, but he basically told me that it was going to be, if it's wireless, it'd be running at 2K resolution and 120 frames per second. And so to me, that's totally fine by me.
Right, the maximum output being that obviously every game is going to be different.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but at 2K, we've been talking about 4K, and that if it was wired, it would be possible. But I just don't see 4K being like a standard thing just yet.
No, so 2K would be more than enough. I mean, we're not even getting 1080p yet, so let's get 1080p.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and
exactly. Plus, it could keep the price down. I think that's the other important part.
2K also seems more likely, because where if when you're outputting to two separate screens at the same time and have to render two separate images, then when we hear stories, and who knows how reliable they are, so take that with a grain of salt too, about PlayStation 5 having trouble rendering at true 4K, is like, to now you're going to render two images at 4K. It's like, well, then that's going to be that's a joke. I don't actually believe any of those stories, but just keep that all in mind when you think about these things.
Yeah, so definitely, keep it with a grain of salt, but take it with a grain of salt.
I fucking love Sonic the Game Cat. He says PSVR Underground. Do you have an uncle at Sony?
Was that a Pixel Rip reference?
No, it's a reference to the classic meme of a guy who's got an uncle at Nintendo.
Oh.
It's not even a classic meme. It's like everybody I knew on the playground in 6th grade was like, "Oh, my cousin works at Nintendo. My uncle works at Nintendo."
Yeah, that's why it's a meme.
Right.
No, it was just one of my sources that I followed for a while and talked to him, and once a lot of the people I listen to, I make sure that some of the things that they say out loud actually come true. And if they do come true, then I say, I'm going to listen to whenever, like Aesthetic Gamer. Whenever Aesthetic Gamer says something about Resident Evil, I'm always like, listen to this guy. Like he knows what he's talking about. Or Jeff Grubb. This guy is in there. This guy is in there with, that group of people for me, because he's been right about so many things. But yeah, this certificate does look pretty authentic and pretty interesting, but it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, PSVR 2, as we will call it for now, is still kind of like in the prototype testing phase. They don't have the controllers finished as far as we know. But we did a viewer takeover having some next gen predictions about bets. When we think, we made some pizza bets about when we expect to see PSVR 2. So make sure you go watch that viewer takeover. It was a fun episode.
Yeah, and I can't wait for pizza after the show tonight.
Oh yeah,
that's totally separate story. But oh my god, I haven't eaten yet today. It is 6:30 at night. I haven't eaten yet today. I don't know what happened. And
that happens to me a lot, actually. I'll just like work all day and then I'm like, oh, I didn't eat. Okay, well, I guess I'll eat something later.
Yeah, right. And I always feel miserable because of it. I don't know why I would ever do that to myself. Like, eating doesn't take that long. What's the issue?
I think the hardest thing is, like, you and I both kind of work from home in various fashions, and like don't see people that much, don't really have a schedule outside of what we decide to do on a given day. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you have no outside kind of guidelines, stuff like eating and sleeping is just like, who knows when it's going to happen.
Showering. Sometimes I'm
showering.
What's that smell? Oh, it's me. I should take a shower.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard to get. Says 2K 120 seems a little too much for the PS5. Let's get a stable native 2K 90 hertz. I mean, considering that there's
120 is already a possibility on the PlayStation VR, so like it should be there as an option, 120 hertz. And that's the cool thing about PSVR also, because like you take a game like Polybius, right? If you ran that on the Quest, the maximum it can hit is I think 77. And I think other PC headsets also have a similar lower refresh rate limit. I could be wrong about like the Rift S and stuff like that, but I know 120 is like really good for the PSVR when you hit it. So if more games just hit the already existing limit, we would be in a great place.
120 frames per second is way more important than 4K resolution. I think the only 120 there's maybe 2 games that run in 120 frames per second currently on the PS4, and that's why I think it's very possible on the PS5. If there is even any game, even if it's a basic game, it's Polybius. Polybius I think runs at a locked 120 frames per second.
Yep.
Simple looking retro game, but it's still capable of doing it. And if the PS5 is more than twice as powerful as a Pro, then I'm pretty optimistic.
Well, that's also where you start getting rid of a lot of motion sickness for people, because like the higher the refresh rate, the lower the latency, all that stuff, it just makes it feel more like you're really there, and it's not got that jarring kind of like delayed sort of like jigga 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 kind of thing.
Any jankiness can create some serious discomfort, and there has been a lot of links to lower frame rates causing motion sickness.
Well, and I think that's why Dreams creations sometimes get me a little queasier than any game on the market, because they let you run them at a low frame rate.
Love it. I'm so glad.
It's cool that you can do it, but then I start feeling it. And I'm like, oh man, I've got legs for days, but like this is intense. So
I felt
higher the frame rate.
I felt it while working on my Dreams games. Definitely, when I was creating, I'm like, this is why VR developers have all these comfort options. It was just to work on their game and test it.
They can actually finish it themselves without puking.
Yeah, because it is rough. But by the end of it, when you get that sweet spot, like you don't feel it anymore. You go in, you're like, I know this feels right. It's kind of like the feel test.
So people in the chat are saying that the only headset right now, I think, that runs at 120 is the Valve Index, which is like the highest end potential headset.
That's expensive.
So, and I mean the fact that we got that in our basic ass PSVR is pretty incredible. Like I'm really glad they made a point to include that.
Did you guys see they found Polybius? It's obviously.
I thought it was an urban myth.
Well, it could be an urban myth. Like no one really knows, because it was like 1981 and there's no documentation and blah 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 whatever, right? And so I saw a screenshot the other day that somebody was like, supposedly they have this startup screen there, and they were like, if you want to find out more when we reveal this, which is supposed to be in a few days, they're like, join our mailing list. And I was like, I'm not on anybody's mailing list usually. I'm like, but I need to sign up for this. So I'm it's probably just a hoax, and it's probably just going to be something silly, but I have to see what the original Polybius looks like if it actually exists.
I just Googled Polybius found, and there's been posts since like 2006 of people like, oh, I found Polybius. Here's a little video.
I had no idea Polybius.
Oh, I found Polybius. Here's a little.
I had no idea what Polybius was. I didn't realize that was some like mythical creature.
Oh yeah, no, that's the whole thing behind the game. It's like it was this cabinet that was supposed to be. It had some kind of weird properties to it, and it was like a
mind control device or something.
Mind control research device from the government or some shit like that. And they were like, only a few of them were ever put out there, and it was supposed to be wild. But I think it was totally a hoax, as far as I can tell.
Like people killed themselves afterwards after playing. People would play for hours and hours and hours, and then they would like go kill themselves, or there were all sorts of different variations of the story. But
you remember how there was I remember one of the PSVR Reddit subreddit mods got upset at Polybius because she said, this game's always telling me what to do. It says don't eat cheese, and she was like, that's annoying, I don't like that. But that kind of plays into the same thing of like being a mind control game. That's why those things pop up on the screen when you're playing Polybius. It's like subliminal messaging to play into that conspiracy theory or
that. Like vegan messages. It's like something about like
not eating meat, not eating cheese. If you've seen his Twitter, it's just him like filming goats.
It's very strange.
Go check in, which is cool. I mean, he makes
or he's at the curry house. He's always at the
curry house. Yeah.
I've seen the goat stuff. I haven't seen the curry house stuff.
He
So
always
any
just
final,
says, "I am in the curry house," and posts a picture.
yeah. Any final thoughts on this, guys? Like, do you hope to see it wireless? Do you hope to see it a hybrid or wired and more powerful?
Yeah.
Like
you said,
I'd like full wireless. I'd like a hybrid.
Yeah, like you said, like if it's not a hybrid, then we're gonna have a major problem for those extended gaming sessions. Definitely have played for 6, 10, 8 hours. That was not the right number of hours. 6, 8, 10, 12 hours at a time. And if you can't charge it and you can't plug it in to during that time,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot of everything, and I think that they really do want to satisfy all markets. I think when PSVR 1 came out, it kind of blew everyone away, right? And it was like really cutting edge and it was kind of amazing. But now it feels outdated. Yeah. And so, again, we've talked about console generations and how Sony believes in them and that this is something they want to do. And every console generation begins with some fucking cutting edge shit. It's always like, this is amazing and it's going to blow you away completely. And then, like, a couple years later, it's not so impressive anymore. And so I think they want to, out of the box, blow everyone away and be like, this is going to be the coolest thing for like the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. PSVR is literally, I think, survived by the games that are being released for it. This has been an exciting, like as hell, couple of months for us. Saints and Sinners, Dreams, Vader Immortal, Pistol Whip. We got some other games coming now. Squadrons is coming soon. So it has just been on fire, and it's been an amazing ride, man. And I think, just keep the games coming, and it'll keep us happy until we get the next piece of hardware. But the hardware is definitely a little behind. I got the Triangulator, my dude, with the $14.99 donation, says hybrid.
It's over $10. He gets the tree guy.
Oh, is that what it is?
He says
over $10.
I just came up with it.
Hybrid is the future, and to compete with Oculus, face crook. Cheers. Yes, there was that.
Get out of my Facebook. Get out of my Facebook.
Yeah, I don't have a Facebook, so that would be a problem. But all right, so moving on. Gamescom was today, and sadly, I had to watch the entire thing to make sure that there was
no. It was a great word.
No, it was an okay presentation. The problem is that it was laggy. The stream was super laggy. So while I rip apart Brian for his thumbnails and forgetting things, at least his streams are stable and they look good.
I mean, they are now. Remember the Jupiter and Mars stream that ran at like 240p?
Yes.
Those poor developers were sitting there watching me play, going, "What is wrong with your internet? The game looks better than this, we promise." I'm like, "I'm sorry, guys, Tigertron."
I just want to interject real quick here too. By the way, Brian and I talked on the phone earlier, and he was like, "Man, AJ doesn't like my thumbnail, and I don't know why. I don't get it." But I hadn't seen the thumbnail. And not to publicly throw you under the bus, Brian, but AJ, I see what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, you guys.
I just have very high standards for his thumbnails. He is a very talented thumbnail creator. And
you win some, you lose some.
The term is thumbnailist. Thank you very much. I'm a very talented thumbnailist.
Thumbnail artist.
But yeah, no, it was like I said, man. These events, I think Jeff Keighley does a great job with these events. It was much more exciting than State of Play, and State of Play actually had PSVR announcements. There was a couple games they showed at this Gamescom event that actually looked really interesting to me. And like I said, I like to watch these events. I like to watch all of them. So even if it's not stuff I'm going to play or interested in, it's still nice when they're executed really well and they're entertaining. But yeah, so one of the things that was announced though was a new Sam and Max VR was teased. They showed a new Sam and Max game being developed, and at the very end of it, he puts on a little cardboard headset, which is in the thumbnail.
It's like a 3D Viewmaster, actually. Brian and I talked about this. It's one of those little clicky things where it's got the...
Yeah,
remember when you were a kid?
I totally had Viewmasters when I was a kid. I was like, it's 3D! It was like the first VR headset I ever had.
They have ones that are more VR-ish now that are like marketed that way, that are like, oh, check it out. It's like one of those old things, but it's got this new technology. I don't know how different it is, but yeah.
I mean, what about this trailer says VR other than Sam slamming a headset on Max's face?
What this says to me is that they've come up with the concept. They're making the game. They have no footage to show at all.
Yeah.
There's not even like
they said all this
concept solidified. It's like, hey guys, this is the most pure form of a teaser that you could possibly do. It's just like, hey, this might exist someday. This is coming eventually.
So
Like,
they did say all this. They said that this is very early, that they don't really have a lot to show, but they wanted to show a tease. And also Nibble at Nibellion on Twitter said new Sam and Max game revealed, and he said under it, he goes, "This looks like maybe VR," and he put the picture. And Jeff Keighley actually responded and said, "Yep, VR." So that is confirmation that it is actually VR. There's a guy named No Nary Lame on Twitter who said, "Okay, so things I've ascertained so far about the new Sam and Max." He says it's the Telltale voice actors, which if you guys have been keeping up with Sam and Max, it's this old school. I'm sure both of you know, but just for those who don't, Sam and Max is an old school point and click adventure from Lucas Arts. Was originally by Lucas Arts. Those point and click adventures.
The artist, amazing.
They usually were known for they were like fun adventures. They had like really engaging puzzles, and then they also had like a great like script. Like they were really funny. They had a great sense of humor about them. And you know, I was more of a Monkey Island guy myself. The Monkey Island series was like my jam. But Sam and Max has kind of actually lived through all of it. I know Full Throttle at one point was canceled, but which was another LucasArts adventure game. But so Telltale has taken over. Though
wait,
I think
Telltale still exists. I thought they fired everybody.
No.
Telltale made the last one. Made the last Sam and Max. Sorry, apologies.
Oh, okay.
Because Telltale did shut down, didn't they?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Pretty much. Well,
mostly.
and
I think they
Lucas-
still exist in name, but they're not the same team.
And LucasArts doesn't really produce games anymore either. LucasArts is a dead brand, right? As
Right.
far as I know.
I mean, Lucas. So
They've
LucasArts.
re-released old Lucasfilm games, but LucasArts, but LucasArts hasn't released a new game itself in a long time, right?
That's a good question, because they were doing like mostly PC stuff for a while, and it's been a long time since I really cared about much of what they were doing.
Yeah,
on
I
their
guess I'm
own.
just curious because they had that heyday, and like here's what I'm trying to think through: does Disney still own LucasArts through the acquisition of Lucasfilm, or are they
Yes.
separate entities? They
Yes.
do own LucasArts.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
they do. And
because even Vader Immortal had like the Disney thing on it.
Well, Vader would always have a Disney thing because LucasArts and Lucasfilms, different things. This is a Lucasfilm production,
Right.
which is a separate entity from LucasArts. But I'm wondering, okay, so Geisen says Disney got rid of LucasArts. That's what I was curious about. So, like, who does this come from? Is this
This-
Disney
so,
joint? Or is
Happy.
it some
so-
other company? Like,
I got you. One of the things he says is Happy Giant have the rights or have licensed the rights.
Yeah.
So,
so
it's
someone
Happy
we've
Giant.
never heard of before, right?
So if you go to the
Yes.
Happy Giant website, you will see that they have made a bunch of AR games. I can't find any VR specific ones or any full-fledged
Apollo
console
created
titles or
Monster
anything like that.
Battle.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want to play Usagi Yojimbo, Way of the Ronin. No, I don't. It's a 6 out of 10. I take it back.
Yeah. No,
But he did say it's the Telltale voice actors that the Jared Emerson Johnson score or imitating his style for the soundtrack. It is VR, and then said Happy Giant have the rights or have licensed the rights.
Yeah, so I don't know how they got the rights because one of their most popular games is InstaKitty 3D Virtual Cat Sim for Google Play and iOS.
Here's
Well,
how I-
it's probably people that were huge fans of the series.
Yeah.
That's typically what I see. That's how Space Channel 5 got made, right? Was they were huge Space Channel 5 fans, and so a lot of these things come as like passion projects that they acquire the license to.
right.
Brian,
I
what
think-
were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I think sometimes it's just, hey, they're offering us money for this thing we don't use anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's how people get rights to these things, where it's like Sam and Max has been dead for a while. You talked about the Telltale ones. I thought Telltale ones were okay as far as like Monkey Island goes, and Sam and Max. They were okay. But they were really just filler. I didn't enjoy them that much. In fact, I didn't even think the puzzles were all that well designed. I thought Sam and Max stopped being good, after whatever their second LucasArts game, like back on PC a long time ago. Same with Monkey Island. I was like, once the original series was over and Telltale picked it up, I was like, I don't think Telltale was actually all that good with making adventure games until around the time Walking Dead came around, when I was like, oh wow, these guys have finally hit their stride. They've demolished IP after IP after IP, and now finally they got it down with The Walking Dead, and then Batman. That Batman series was incredible as well.
Their Sam & Max was pretty good though. It brought back like the adventure element. It wasn't just the telltale like story driven thing.
Yeah.
It was they actually introduced some like some puzzles and stuff back into it, which was nice.
They were fine again. Like I didn't think they were bad games at all, but it was just like nothing they did lived up to the original series.
No.
Which is just kind of a shame.
Those are the magic days.
Triangulator's been sitting there with a tip for $10 that we didn't check out just yet. It says August marks the 2-year anniversary of Brian beating the pizza guy. I'm sure he's just as hungry right now as he was back then. Enjoy the pizza today.
I don't.
Where do you see that tip?
Right.
Oh, it's from Future Basemaster 1, $10. August marks the 2-year anniversure of Brian.
You said Triangulator.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was Triangular.
So shout out to Future Basemaster.
Sorry.
Basemaster?
You slapped a bass, man? I slapped a bass. What's up? Let's slap the bass together sometime.
AJ's a current Basemaster, so he can mentor you.
Let's do it.
2-year anniversary of Brian beating the pizza guy. You guys remember what stream that was, right?
Oh, beating the pizza guy. Was that... Wait, don't tell me. Kowloon's Gate.
That's right. It was a 7-hour stream. I wasn't even saying
love.
it. I wasn't even saying it on stream, but I've been all day without eating, and I was super caffeinated. It was supposed to be just me checking out the game, and next thing I know, we're trying to finish the game. And
7 hours later,
so caffeinated and so hungry, my stomach was actually in a knot, and I was getting motion sickness, like just from playing because of my mental state and my physical state. But we were so close to the end, and I could feel it. I was like, we're gonna do this. And then I took a quick break, ordered a pizza, and then the only goal was to beat the pizza guy. I was like, we got to finish the game before the pizza guy shows up. And so everyone in the chat was chanting, we got to beat the pizza guy. We got to beat the pizza guy. It was
that was, I think,
so
one of
fun.
the only like 7. That was definitely the first of your like 7-hour live streams or whatever. Cause you do these long ass live streams. Cause you're crazy.
I'm crazy.
That was the first one that I think I watched from start to finish. Like I was there the entire time glued to it. I actually just made a Hong Kong account for Mortal Blitz, getting early access to the beta, and I am going to be keeping an eye on Kowloon's Gate. That is the name of the game we were talking about, Kowloon's Gate. It is crazy, and I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, and I'm still a little pissed because I told Brian to check it out, and then he ended up streaming the entire thing, and there were so many people there. It was so much fun. I couldn't stop watching, and I never beat the game myself because I watched him beat the entire game in front of my eyes, and I was like, well, there goes that. Yeah. But it was a fun stream. We got Candy Love forever.
Candy Love. Yeah. But yeah, really excited about this. I love, just like I see Sir Benji's in the chat blowing up about Full Throttle and Sam & Max. Big fan of the.
Did he mention Grim Fandango? Because you got to get that. So good.
Grim Fandango, which was I think a free. Wasn't the remaster free on Plus at one point?
I think so. Yeah.
I picked that up. I haven't played the remaster, but I played the original.
Good. So good.
Yeah, I would love to. They always have a great sense of humor, and that always balances really well with that adventure and the puzzles. Like that, those are one of the kinds of puzzle games I do like because you feel like immersed. You feel like you're doing something in the story versus just solving puzzles one after another.
My favorite thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say my favorite thing to do in those remasters is to hit. I don't know if it's like options or if it's touchpad or something, and they let you switch between the new super HD graphics and the old pixel art like on the fly. It's just like a seamless transition. It's like they're both running at the same time, and man, it's like to me nothing beats the pixel art. I will play with the old school graphics day in day out because they were just beautiful, and I really missed that almost like 16-bit-ish style that they had. It's really good.
Yeah. Makes me want to go play Monkey Island on my jet ski level that I made in Dreams. After you get past the first music soundtrack, once you're like kind of getting all the prize bubbles, it plays the Monkey Island theme, little secret thing as you explore. Love that song. All right, so moving on, Dave.
Oh.
You got an email recently.
I did, yeah. We can talk about that.
I hope Belramio's here because we've got some amazing news to share about a game that we've been waiting for. Take it away,
Yeah.
Dave.
Okay, so I got an email kind of out of the blue, but from Zen Studios, who I've talked to in the past about other games they've had, pinball and stuff like that. And they said, "Hey, we're getting close to releasing Operencia VR. Would you be interested in a key?" Now, I don't have a release date. I don't know exactly what, there were no details. There was not a press release. There wasn't a new trailer or anything. But it was along the lines of like, "Hey, this is coming pretty soon." And
Sound like they said very soon.
They did say very soon. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be a free update to the existing game. So if you already own Operencia, or if you want to check it out and get a head start, or if it's on sale or something ahead of time, grab it. And then once VR drops, you'll have it good to go. Nothing else to buy. It's not a paid upgrade or anything like that. And it also, they told us again that it's going to be a 20 to 30 hour game. So this is a kind of a dungeon crawler RPG. Seems like a big step up from Crystal Rift, which is what we had as far as dungeon crawling, or maybe Mage's Tale.
Big step.
But it's got like a really hardcore kind of classic RPG vibe, though, right? Like it's like grid-based, turn-based RPG. But AJ, you had actually played it in flat screen some and said you got really into it and you really enjoyed the mechanics and stuff. So
I had to cut myself off from playing this game more because I did do a first impressions of it. But yeah, it is like stunningly beautiful, and it just has that. We don't have a lot of RPGs or dungeon crawlers on PSVR, and this is both. This is I wouldn't want every single game to be a turn-based RPG, but I appreciate the few and far between that are, especially when they're done really well.
Table of Tales was incredible as far as that goes.
Very good,
that was one of the few ones that we have.
Table of Tales was fantastic, and this is just a solid. Like the gameplay was fun, the strategy was fun, the environments were beautiful. Barely little bit of platforming, not really platforming, but there is like some stuff. It's like you said, it's grid-based movement, so you do have to like be careful where you walk and stuff. But there's puzzles, there's combat, there's like tons of variety of enemies, there's bosses, and I just want to see this game in VR. I cannot wait for it. 20 hours, I think, for the main story, and then like 30 hours. I think there's going to be a platinum trophy, or there is a platinum trophy. It takes about 30 hours for the platinum.
And the game's what, like $20-$30, somewhere in that range? It's no more than 30, right?
Right. It's like I think it's $30.
Okay. So
but it's a full game.
RPG. That's big. I mean, that's a good thing. And Zen Studios has a fairly decent track record. Whether or not you liked Castle Storm VR and thought it needed to be in VR, it was a polished, good-looking game that did the best in VR that it could. And I think Pinball FX VR, Brian obviously put that on one of our top 20 lists. That's a good, very good game. So Zen Studios has some chops, and they've got budget is the other thing, polish and budget. Yeah. So I expect good things from this.
Shout out to David Moore who pointed out that the game's currently on sale. So that could mean something right now. It could be on sale when the patch drops to get people interested in it. It is currently 40% off. It's a $30 game. It's currently on sale for $18. So make sure. Yeah, what a random game to just have on sale if you don't have something planned, right?
Yeah.
I had no idea it was on sale, but they always do this. They put a game on sale and then they take it off sale and then they release like a huge update for it. So now is the time, guys. I would say pick it up. We're definitely getting it very soon. It sounds like, if not the beginning, like I would say within the next 2 weeks, we might be seeing it. If not, then September at least.
Yeah, I played the first hour of it, and I was, and I, again, just like you, I had to cut myself off because I was like, this is really engaging. This is really interesting. I can't wait to see where this goes and see how these characters develop and see where my powers develop. And I was like, but I just got to stop. I got to stop because I want to experience this whole thing in VR. Be very excited when that happens. We should probably have.
I won't mess this one up. Yeah, we got a big one, a $10 tip that gets the tree guy from our most jiggly friend of all, BitJellaBoy30. Shut up, tree guy. BitJellaBoy30, that jiggly gamer cat with a $10 donation. Give him a jiggle. Everybody give a jiggle. Hope all you cats are having a fantastic Thursday. Much love and many meows to you three and all the game cats.
Many meows right back at you, my friend.
BitJellaBoy. Stay jiggly.
The chat's fucking vibing today. I love it.
Oh, yeah. $5 from You Got Cold Yogurt. Says, did anyone have trophy sync problems after playing Vader Immortal? Mm-hmm. To answer your question, everyone had trophy sync issues.
Except
trophies
AJ.
are busted in Vader Immortal.
AJ,
except AJ.
Except AJ.
I don't think I had any trouble with trophies.
So they pop up, but when you click on them, it's just like error. You can't look at them, and they're not showing up on your trophy list. That's what was happening to me, Brian, Yogurt, almost
Gotcha.
everybody.
Okay.
Bel Ramio with the 5
Euro.
European money says, I am about halfway through. Totally 20 plus hours, very old school. Can't wait to see it in VR.
Nice.
Yeah, neither can I. And then, oh, wow, back to the tree guy. You can take this one, Brian.
All right, that one is Joe Grover, the effing Game Cat Red Rover with the $20 donation. He says, is it possible to start up the PS4 and play games in PSVR without hooking up to a TV at all, only using the headset?
Yes.
I'm stuck in a hotel. I have my PSVR rig, but I can't hook to the TV. Well,
totally.
So wait, but he's saying he can't hook to the TV. So the question is obviously you can play PSVR without using a TV, but can you set it up without a TV?
Well, you won't need to set it up because he's already used his PSVR on his own PS4, I have to assume.
Oh, that makes
so it'll
sense,
just say, oh, this is your old PS4, just like normal.
Plus, it comes through on the headset when you fire it on, anyways.
It does all the setup stuff is in your face. So it just basically you just leave the HDMI to the TV unplugged, and everything works fine. There's no issues at all. You don't need a TV. Enjoy in the hotel.
For like a year in my living room, I had like just the PSVR and everything, and like no TV. It looks so weird though. It just looks weird.
Dude, I've had people say like, "Oh, is it worth it to sell my TV and get a VR headset because then I can just watch stuff on a giant screen?" And I'm like, "No, you kind of need a TV too for other shit." Like
laying in bed, like, dude, I'm so addicted to having the TV on to go to bed like that. I don't think I've ever gone to bed without the TV on in 20 years now.
Well, you know what my problem has been lately? I've gotten too into the shows that I'm watching. Like I was watching High Score or what's that other one I was just talking about? Toys That Made Us.
Pawn Stars.
And I'll be like, oh man, well, I could watch one more episode. And then I end up like having to turn it off to force myself to go to sleep because it's getting later and later and later. And I'm just like, I'm not falling asleep because I'm so engaged.
That's why I have a series of shows that I've seen 100 times that I'm just like, I'm going to put on How I Met Your Mother or Frasier or Star Trek Next Generation.
I can fall asleep to Frasier.
Yeah.
Frasier, I can totally fall asleep to.
Absolutely.
Real quick, El Ramio. I got to leave in 3 minutes, guys. So just throwing it out there. I'll be back, but I got to leave for a little bit. Yeah, Bel Ramio again.
With the 15 euro donation, he says, oops, I wanted to donate 20, but my phone didn't want me to. Here's the other 15. Thanks, Bel. Thank you so much. Meows to everybody.
I know Bell was really happy about that Operencia news because me and him have been talking about it since they made the announcement. And,
dude, you know what's bullshit? I fucking emailed them 2 weeks ago, and I was like, hey, what's going on with Operencia? No response, and they emailed Dave out of the blue. I'm like...
This is funny, too, because I already had a contact at like Zen Studios VR, but different person entirely. I've never met this person before. They just cold emailed me out of nowhere. Like, hey, do you want this? And I was like, yeah, when you get it, I'll take it.
So the person I emailed probably was the old contact, and then it probably went to.
I'll tell you his name offline.
No.
I don't want to publicly. This guy out there.
Yeah.
All right,
guys, real quick, I got 2 minutes left before I got to bounce for a little bit. Anything left to Operencia? I think we've covered most of that.
Yeah. I think that's it. You know, we were just saying we were just saying that. You know, when companies say coming soon, they need to come a little sooner.
Well, the other thing is they put on the thumbnail for the trailer, like now in VR, which is so misleading because that's months ago. And like the first thing you see is now. And you're like, now? That sounds like I understand what the word now means. Don't they? No.
Well, but the question is how much of this is like, okay, you know, usually these companies have pay people to make trailers for them, and they don't, and then they go, okay, you know, we're going to release our trailer on this day, and then maybe certification didn't go as planned, right? Especially when it comes to Sony cert, and so I know a lot of developers who want their games to come out a month ago, 2 months ago, but they've been stuck in cert forever. So there's like multiple things happening at once, and juggling all those balls and keeping them up in the air means that some of them are going to fall when you don't want them to.
Gumball's Game Room says, I took my PSVR tent camping at the beach because the No Man's Sky addiction is real.
Wow. That's amazing.
I took mine to work. I was at my previous job, my fancy job, I took my PSVR, my Pro to work. I was staying at the Ritz-Carlton in Atlanta. And,
fancy.
And I could be like out like drinking like expensive wine and stuff. And I was just like playing PSVR in my room.
Just play Bartender VR and you'll be fine. All right, it is 7 o'clock, guys. I gotta bounce.
All right,
I'm
Dave.
gonna be back in like half an hour or so. I think this is gonna be a quick one tonight.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
Do you want?
See you later,
Just,
chat.
can you just turn
I'll
off
be
your
back.
camera and mic, or do you have to leave entirely?
I can just turn my camera and mic off. Yeah.
That would be amazing. That would have been amazing if it didn't switch. All right. Well, you're just gonna be
Yeah.
Dave. You're just gonna be Dave. I'm so sorry, Dave.
Oh,
All right. Well, now it's too late. Now we can't get him back.
You don't have a hold screen ready. You don't have another screen ready for it.
There's nothing I can do. Dave, we need to get in touch with Dave and tell him to turn his mic and camera off.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
nothing we can do.
all right. Okay, so moving on. Where's all my dreamers at? Any dreamers in the house? I see you, Wargarble. Fish Laser. Any other dreamers? I know tons of people. We got some awesome news about dreams. There's an update coming, and this comes via Dream Bubble at Bubble Dreaming on Twitter. Also, thank you to M Alchemist, who's also a dream creator, and made some cool stuff on there. He made the Riding the Dragon one. That was like day one, and like that
That was
Soleus
good.
Dominus one. I don't know if you played that one, but it was pretty cool.
I've played so many
but-
that I can't remember them all.
Yes, I'm trying to get in touch with more dreamers and stuff because there's an awesome community. It's a lot like ours. Where the cool kids hang. So, but Dream Bubble says update 2.18 for Dreams PS4 will include tons of changes, including new orchestral instruments, and updated collection, beat synced LFOs, controller requirement labels. So now, like a game will have to say. Like move controller, DualShock 4 controller, because a lot of people were asking for that. VR ratings icon update. I don't know what that means, but I know there are 3 icons that you can choose. And whenever somebody plays something in VR, you could say it's, anybody can play this, experienced users can play this, and holy shit, this is going to mess you up.
Right.
And it says new gizmos for hand and imp tracker orientation, which the imp and hand tracker is something they added with the VR update. It's so that you can place items like swords in your hand. This is going to be important for me because I want to make some stuff with swords. So I need this. And then it says disallow VR comfort mode in creations. A lot of people hate the comfort mode and don't want it. And so now creators can disable that. Couple other things like option to adjust the position of subtitles in VR, bug fix to scoreboard and box escape, and just a couple more things. Yeah, but big update coming to Dreams. It's nice to see that there's some still VR content coming with these updates. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, where the fuck's aim support? Oh, sorry. I hate to be that guy, right? Because anytime you see any company on Twitter or whatever post, oh, we're doing this thing, this very cool thing here, blah blah blah, whatever. There's always some jackass that just doesn't care about the actual information and goes, what about aim support? It's like, just leave him alone, man. Give him some time. Let him get to it. But yeah, so yeah, I'm super excited because I am dipping my toes into the dream. What's it called? Not dream surfing. What's the dream sculpting? Is that what it's called? Dream shaping. I'm finishing up all the tutorials right now and beginning work on my game. And holy shit, there's a lot of stuff to learn. But it's so incredible that this is going to be. I think over the next couple months with me working on this game is going to be one of the most incredible experiences that I've had in VR since pretty much the beginning of VR, because a lot of things have been scary and have scared me to death and been like, this is incredible. A lot of things have been high action and allowed me to feel like a movie star, but nothing's ever made me feel really creative. Even like Cool Painter or Sculptor VR, these kind of things, or these were fun sort of. Well, okay, this is cool for a day, but I'm not going to do anything with this. I'm not sharing this with anybody. But being able to get in there and actually make a game that I've been basically excited to make since I was 12 is so cool, and something I never expected to do with PlayStation VR. And then being able to share it with anybody who wants to play it is just absolutely incredible. I feel like we're living in the future or something. It's amazing.
It is crazy, man. I've always dreamt of a game like this, that's just a tool set that you can use to make other games. Little Big Planet was obviously the first one to make me be like, this could be really cool. but I never expected something like this on console. And lo and behold, 1 month later, I've made 3 different games in Dreams so far, and yeah, it was a lot of time and dedication to it. Nothing to the quality of some of these like experts out there, but I focus more on gameplay than I do like making everything look amazing and as detailed as possible.
Well, fucking get on it, dude.
I will. Some guys like my dude Sunshine Happy Fun Times has spent the same amount of time I have just creating one level, and his level looks phenomenal. But I'm more like I'm just not into the whole level design as much as I am like the gameplay design of stuff, like detailed like sculpting stuff. I just want it to function and work.
Yeah, I think that's where we start. Once we
Yeah.
you dive into Dreams and you're like, I forget who it was. Was it Cypher in Discord who was like, I built this thing and every time I started it, like just all the pieces of the model fell down and fell apart. And I was like, yeah, that's how it's gonna start. So just getting things to work properly is certainly goal number one. But man, it's like, whenever we talk to developers of actual quote unquote games, they always talk about how like the last couple months is where they polish up all the graphics and make it look really good. And so I really want to get the framework for my game down over the next month or so, and then really before I even reveal it to you guys, be like just like tighten everything up and make it look as good as possible, and really spend the time that it'll take. And I know, and I'm so happy there's people like War Garble in our community who volunteered, who said, if you need anything, let me know. And you guys are amazing.
They're very nice. They're very kind. They love to collab and stuff. Thorin's the Game Cat says, can you guys make another show with the best creations? It's pretty hard to find some.
Literally just wrote down top dreams list because I want to make another top list after I saw his comment.
So I can tell you for now, go check out. There's one called Grenade Survival, I think it was. I don't think Brian liked this one as much as I did, but they literally throw you into like a pit and just drop and play on nightmare mode, and they drop like 1 million freaking grenades on you, and you have to survive for as long as you can.
It wasn't bad or anything. It wasn't bad. It was like I wanted to develop a strategy, and I was like they're coming down too quickly for me to even create a strategy. I was like, I thought surviving felt like luck. It was a cool idea though, very cool concept, and maybe if I played it longer, I would have gotten into it.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, looking forward to that update. I don't know when that update's dropping, but hopefully soon. And I'm really excited to see, because I'm going to need this hand imp tracker stuff to work on some of my game stuff. So
nice. Shout out to Robbie B, the English Game Cat, with the 5. I don't know. I'm just kidding. It's £5 donation. Says, yeah, Dave's not here, man. Somebody had to not understand currency. He writes, "Hi chaps." I hope he's in the chat, so because I can't wait to see his reaction for that. Hi chaps. Hi. Oh man, I want to do a British accent, but I suck at it. Hope you guys and all the other cats are well. Thoughts to all those hit by Hurricane Laura. For real.
It's hello chaps.
No, the whole thing,
hello.
Please.
Hello chaps. Hope you guys and the other cats are well. Thoughts to all those hit by Hurricane Laura. Something face. What is that? I don't know what that is. Tear face?
Yeah,
that sucks, man. Wraithmania, if you're out there, man, if you get in any trouble with the hurricane, come stay at my house.
Wraithmania, if you're out there and you can hear us, swim. For dear God, swim like your life depends on it. He's
the Game Cat that cannot die.
Just keep swimming.
No, but for sure. And the people out in California with the fires, just stay safe, man. The world's trying to kill us, but it's not going to win because we just stay inside and play PSVR. And don't go outside. Nothing can hurt you inside.
It does seem like the world is trying to kill us right now. It's like in the COVID or the economy or fucking hurricanes and earthquakes and fires and oh my, there's probably bears. Murder hornets. Remember, how did we all forget about murder hornets so quickly?
Next is gonna be like bears with chainsaws and bear with chainsaw escapes from the zoo.
Dude, I want somebody's gonna make bear with chainsaw in Dreams as soon as possible. Bear with chainsaw. Wasn't there like what was the driving game? It was like the driving game where there's a bear who was driving and it was like I don't remember. Somebody in the chat probably knows what I'm talking about. But
yeah. Robbie B says that is so Mary Poppins. GC, fuck's sake.
It definitely sounded Mary Poppins. It was like pretentious British accent. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, all right. So moving on, Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife. Finally,
are you really going to tell me you didn't like that dude in the thumbnail from Wraith?
Oh my God, man! Why did you include that?
Because it was hilarious. Because it was hilarious.
Not even wearing a PSVR headset. For Christ's sake, you're gonna confuse people.
We're not confusing anybody.
And that game has so many cool looking things, and you chose the mixed reality guy.
Dude, you tell me. Oops, hold on a second. Something went horribly wrong with this. Hold on, I'm just gonna stretch this out. And
So
move it over
let me finish what I was saying. Anyways, Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife revealed debuted their first gameplay trailer today.
Mm-hmm.
We've been waiting on this since it was first announced. This game is really, really exciting. From Fast Travel Games, the same people that made Apex Construct, and it's supposed to be this terrifying horror game based on the World of Darkness series, and I cannot freaking wait to play this game.
Yeah. Now hold on a second before we even talk about the game, because I think we could have a pretty long discussion. Obviously, you guys go check out my interview that I did with Eric Odeldahl, the creative director over there at Fast Travel Games. Man, it was so funny. It was so funny because after the interview, he was like, "Oh man, I stuttered," and I was like, "Dude, I stutter like no one else on the face of the planet." And so, like when I was editing today, I was trying to edit out little stutters and stuff to make both of us sound like better orators than we are. So it was really, really funny. Eric Odeldahl just proves that everyone over at Fast Travel Games is awesome. We've talked to everybody. We've talked to like half the staff over there at this point, and they're all amazing. I say half the staff, but I mean like three. But everyone I've talked to that works there is fantastic. Real quick, let's talk about this trailer that I can't manage to get centered because of OBS right now. So we'll talk about the elements of the game in a second. Really, what were your first impressions of this trailer, AJ? Honestly.
Well, I don't like mixed reality trailers because I feel like you can, like, first of all, I thought the trailer was good, but I don't like mixed reality trailers because when you show it in first person, to me, it's more like looking through your eyes, like you're seeing like what it's going to look like when you're playing, and instead of like watching a half graphics, half live action movie hybrid thing with a like, you know, it's just obviously like a different background and stuff. And, you know, I don't know. But the game overall looks pretty cool, I guess. I prefer like just in-game footage.
Here's my issue. I don't like mixed reality trailers either. I always think it looks a little silly or a little goofy. But this one in particular, whereas Tarzan is please tell me that's your dog. What is going on? Is that what I'm hearing?
That is my dog.
Okay,
sorry.
good. No, as long as that's your dog and like nothing crazy is going on. Mixed reality trailers, like we just saw the Tarzan one, and it was goofy and it was silly or whatever, but at least they showed a ton of different things. You know, he was swinging from vines, he was involved in melee combat, and a lot of things were going on, and they showed a lot of different gameplay elements. And I was like, okay, it's fine. At least they're showing us there's a reason for the mixed reality, right? At least they show them like, you know, grabbing the vines and throwing punches and that kind of stuff. In this one, and just no disrespect to Fast Travel, because I love these guys to death, but this trailer doesn't do it for me. I think it does a good job at showing off environments, and it really, I think the environments do look good, but too many of the scenes in this trailer are focused on the dude in mixed reality instead of the environments or gameplay elements or anything else. Like there are entire scenes where it's just him, like 90% of the screen is just him going, like looking around, and I'm like, no, I want to see what you're looking at.
Right.
So, but it's still you know, this as it says in the trailer, it says early development footage, and they do want to give you the idea that it's kind of a stealth game. They do show some stealth going on in the end, so there is some gameplay shown, but for a trailer that's called first gameplay footage, there's not a ton of gameplay.
No, it's like him closing a door and then like hiding in a locker or something and
picking up a box,
looking around.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there's not much like gameplay to it. It doesn't. It's like what David Moore says I'm excited for the game, just not sure if the trailer does it justice. So yeah,
100%.
Feel the same way.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Now getting to my interview with Eric Odeldahl. Okay, I think the thing most people commented on more than anything else was when he asked me if I played Resident Evil 7. He's like, did you play Resident Evil 7? And I like giggled a little bit. I was like, yeah, a little.
He asked you?
Yeah. Because I
didn't get to finish the interview.
I didn't get to finish it yet. So I said to him, I was like, listen, man, like you've played PlayStation VR games before. You tell me, where does this rank amongst PSVR horror games? I was like, you tell me, how scary is this? And he goes, have you played Resident Evil 7? And I was like, you are fucking, first of all, barking up the wrong tree, right? Because you're gonna tell me that this is as scary as Resident Evil 7. Awesome. I'm so excited. Because what did they reference so far? So far, they've referenced Alien Isolation and Amnesia: The Dark Descent. And I'm like, dude, you are setting, like, I'm like, you're either setting yourself up for failure, or you really do believe in your game this much that you think it's going to deliver scares as big as those, which is exciting, which is really, really exciting. And so but then he said Resident Evil 7 today, and he goes, you know, the part where you're like, your girlfriend is like, Mia's like crawling up the stairs, like that very Exorcist moment. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I think we've got a few of those. And I was like,
cool.
I was like,
That
all
was
right,
good.
man.
That was creepy.
Dude, that was one of the scariest things in the game. When I'm like, when the game takes over and you're like looking down and you're like, what peering into the darkness, and you see this, like I said, practically ripped straight out of the Exorcist movie, girl crawling up the stairs. Okay.
The feeling of being stalked in VR is very unsettling. It is terrifying, in fact.
Right.
That seems like what a lot of this game is going to have is stuff chasing you, and you know, you're walking around and never know what's going to happen or what's going to be lurking around the corner. And yeah, I think that is cool. If it has a cool story as well, which being fast travel, I imagine it should have a good story, good voice acting and stuff. It could be really exciting, really entertaining. But I'm excited for this one. And it's early 2021 is what it's supposed to be when it's supposed to be coming out.
That's right.
But yeah, make sure anybody who hasn't yet, make sure you go check the interview that Brian did with the first gameplay. Go check it out. Darth Vader with the $2.99 donation says, Amnesia for PSVR. Do it now.
Seriously.
Do it now.
Seriously.
Yes.
I agree. Anybody who's made a horror game ever and has not brought it to PSVR is leaving money on the table, because VR makes all horror infinitely scarier. Like it's almost unfair, right? Because even not so good horror games are still really scary. Because you're like, I don't know what these developers are capable of. I don't know what they're going to throw at me. And so like you're peering around every single corner. Because you're just like, even if nothing happens, you're still like, I don't know. This anything could happen.
Be pretty scary.
Yeah. This is a shout out to every single horror game developer out there in the world. Bring your game to PlayStation VR, and we will buy it. I promise you.
All right. So moving on. Are you ready to move on?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, absolutely.
I don't have much more to add to this because I need to go finish the interview. That's where the meat of this discussion is going to be, in that interview.
Yeah.
You like how I'm doing that? I'm bringing up the topics, and then I'm like, go watch the other video that nobody watches for some reason.
Dude, anything that says the word interview in it, like everyone's like, oh, the Parole interview. The people who watch it love it, and then no one else actually watches it. But that's okay, because no one ever used to watch Why We Love, and that's slowly gaining popularity.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
Like 6% of our viewers watch it. 6%.
Well, I've got something that people are gonna want to hear, and this comes via the Discord, thanks to our dude Borny, who posted some latest info about Zero Caliber. Zero Caliber is a first-person shooter that we've been kind of waiting to hear more on. Had a lot of hype going for it until we played Apex Cybernetic, and we were like, "Oh, you can hold on to Zero Caliber for a little longer and make sure it's finished." But
Sure.
He posted a screenshot that they posted actually, and it was a picture of Move controllers and a VR headset and some gameplay on the screen. Graphically, it's looking pretty nice. But then said someone on the one of their Discord posted something else, and it said, "Hey, it's a tweet from X Real Games. It says, hey, psst, any PSVR fans here? I've just tried a very early build of Zero Caliber's PlayStation VR port, shaping up nicely. Smiley face. More info soon. Dan." So it sounds like we're going to be getting some potential Zero Caliber news here pretty soon.
Yeah, very excited about this. This one is yeah, how crazy is it, man? How crazy is it that, Firewall has been the king of the hill for so long, as far as like, team-based shooters go. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, we've been waiting for Alvo forever. So many games have kind of come and gone. Like there was even Zero Killed that seemed like it was going to be the next big one and then fell off the radar completely. By the way, I talked to those guys coming 2021 now. So it's just absolutely crazy that like Firewall just hasn't had any competition. I mean, we'll give D-Day a shout out for that. D-Day is awesome, but like as far as like you D-Day was obviously made by I shouldn't say obviously because Reggie killed it, right? Made an awesome game, but graphically it certainly doesn't look like a cutting edge VR game.
When you think about what D-Day did and what Reggie has done with that,
amazing.
They were Jeff Keighley on the Gamescom earlier was kind of grilling or kind of asking the Medal of Honor game, the developers there about multiplayer, and he's like, oh well, in VR things are difficult and stuff. It was that back to that kind of that excuse again, and it's just like, man, when you really think about it, like one guy by himself did something that every single developer, a bunch of other developers are always like, as soon as you mention VR and multiplayer, they're like, oh, it's really difficult. I don't think we can do it. And stuff like that. Yeah. This is one guy that created a 32-person multiplayer game by himself.
Isn't it Respawn making the Medal of Honor game? It's like, come on, you guys. Respawn. You guys know what you're doing. Get your shit together. I think it's just, an excuse really when it comes down to it.
Corks the Game Cat asks, what's the difference between Zero Caliber and Alvo?
The people making
it. Do you answer that?
Yeah, I mean, by all means.
Is that your best answer?
It's not. I mean,
Zero Caliber is basically going to be using the Move controllers, and it's a lot about like the interaction with the guns, like cocking the guns, loading your clips. It's also a co-op game. There's no PvP at this time, as far as I know, unless they added that. But Zero Caliber is actually like a 4-person co-op. I think it's like player versus environment and AI, and you carry out these missions, these different levels. I'm very excited for it. I just hope the port is really good. And I hope there's not too many issues with tracking. But you can see from the gameplay down below, it's like, climbing and jumping stuff. Alvo is a lot closer. We should be hearing, but I imagine we get Alvo. I think we're getting Alvo in September, if I had to guess, the beta. And that uses the aim controller, and that's more of a traditional PvP team-based kind of game. It looks a lot like Counter-Strike.
Yeah, just to add what you were saying, if you check out the Steam store, Zero Caliber says PvP mode is coming soon. It's still in early access over there on PC, so it's certainly not a finished game. No matter where you play it, so that's exciting. I do think ATEC Cybernetic didn't totally deliver the goods. Well, that's a really nice way of saying it. But I do think that this is a much bigger game for them, and I think that we shouldn't use ATEC Cybernetic as when we talk about the future of this. I just think that they've got a lot more invested into this. So we'll see too.
God, I hope so, because this game has so much more potential. And ATEC Cybernetic was just a mess. It was a really, really janky port, missing a lot of cool features that had. And like you said, I think this is their baby. I think this is what really put X-Real on the map, and I think this is what continues to be their main source of income. So, this game has a lot going for it, and like I said, and also we'll have Alvo. Should be getting Alvo pretty soon. Then we'll have this probably maybe around December or something. I could see this game dropping.
I don't see this coming 2020. I think this is definitely next
year.
No, definitely.
It's coming next year.
I definitely think so. Real quick, I want to make sure someone doesn't get by us. Sue Miles with the £5 donation. Do you want to read this in your best British accent?
Sue Miles with the 5 donation says, nothing wrong with being British. Get your welly boots on. Avoid clowns. They are worse than zombies. Good luck with maple syrup holes, if that's even real. Was that better? That was better, right?
Can you just use that voice for the rest of the show while I cringe over here in the corner? It was amazing and awful at the same time. I love it.
It's the best I got.
Absolutely love it. Awesome. Yeah. I'm so excited about the future, man. A lot of these games have been in development forever. So many games. I mean, how long have we been hearing about this game?
Yeah, a long time. That PvP update was mentioned back. They didn't even have PvP servers at the beginning of this year. They mentioned that they were just figuring out and tweaking. Steve Irie says that wasn't too bad. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah,
Thank
but
you.
I agree with Nick, though. You should have done Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello!
I love Mrs. Doubtfire. But but yeah, back in December they said that they were just getting the servers together and that they were starting the PSVR port, I think it was, or they said that they would have a PSVR update for us in like Q1. Of course, this is before the pandemic broke out, but overall, dude, I can't tell you how excited I am about the future. Like in general, like I have to hold myself back from basically screaming, I can't wait, like every single day.
Wow.
But yeah, Avo will keep us busy in the meantime. Avo with the aim controller, PvP, and then at least that'll keep us satisfied until this comes out. We'll see how this does. I love co-op shooters. Probably since either Call of Duty, the original Call of Duties, or even Resistance was a lot of fun as a co-op shooter. This is going to function a little bit differently because this is more like tactical, team-based thing. Maybe it's got a little bit of SOCOM in there, barely. Looks like there's some mission stuff of like turning off towers and stuff.
You're getting a lot of love for your accent in the chat.
Yes.
Scheme KOS
Awesome.
says, I'm from the UK, and AJ sounds even more British than I do. Yeah. Quirks, of course Solaris is coming to PSVR. So
Yes.
that's a thing, too. When is that? They don't have a date for that, right? But it is supposed to be this year?
Solaris by First Contact Entertainment, the sci-fi first-person shooter, was supposed to be coming out, I think, this fall or within the next few months for Quest and PC first, and it got delayed. So it's another one where it's like if it was coming to PSVR like at the end of the year, then maybe that's an early 2021 title as well.
I'm wondering what got delayed, because they didn't say PSVR got delayed. They said the titles that they're the PC and Quest versions get delayed. So I'm wondering if now they're all going to launch at the same time, which would be way better idea.
That would be cool, especially since it's cross-platform. To be honest with you, I think that they might have not gotten the feedback that they wanted when they debuted their footage, because I think the game's going to be great, but I think they keep showing like this really early footage, and I don't think people are really sold on it yet.
It's the Halo Infinite of VR, AJ.
I think people want to. I think people, I think First Contact wants to deliver something that people are like blown away by.
Yeah. I think Sue Miles nailed it. She said Brian just doesn't know what welly boots are, and that is 100% true. I have no idea. No idea.
That's not Australian. This is Australian. Nah, I don't feel good about that one.
No, I mean, yeah.
Drunken Bar Fight has gotten an update this week, Brian.
When you passed it on the run of show, I was like, oh, good, we don't have to talk about Drunken Bar Fight. But I guess we're going to talk about Drunken Bar Fight. You played it, right? You played the update?
I played the Black Friday update, which is out now. It's a free update. Did you play it yet or no?
No, I did not. And
me.
The second you said that you played it, I was like, good, you're our guy.
God damn it. Yep. So I did play it. There is another update coming out for it because there's some performance issues, of course.
Shit. Apologies to whoever's footage this is. Josh Dubb. Shout out to Josh Dubb. Apparently we're using your footage.
Yeah, I know Josh Dubb.
Do you?
That name sounds familiar.
Awesome. We're using your footage, Josh Dubb.
I think he's one of Will's friends.
Well then maybe I should change the footage.
So that is out now. It adds a couple new things. There's like a new menu where you have like a cell phone, a giant cell phone. You can adjust your settings and stuff. There's different cheats now, like invincibility or there's like God mode, and there's like indestructible weapons. I will say I kind of liked this new level, what they're going for. You walk across the street, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically a Black Friday sale. It looks like a Walmart or something, or a Target but what makes it cool, I like the idea behind this, where there's like shopping bundles and stuff. Like there's boxes of presents. There's new weapons, which I really like. There's like a flare gun. There's like a weed whacker, a nail gun, a trimmer for some bushes, electric trimmer. So there's like a jar of bees too that you can like unleash.
That's so random. I love it.
Yeah. So they have the right idea with this update. That being said, the performance is just awful. The turning is snail pace turning, and it's juddery as hell.
How have they not fixed that yet? That's crazy.
I don't know. Was it always like that?
I mean, I don't remember it being juddery actually, and I think
it is juddery.
I think at launch you had to turn your body or something. Like it was, you couldn't even actually turn around and stuff. Like there were no turn buttons, and so they added it, and then it was just terrible.
You have no control over your footage.
Why? You want me to change it?
Well, because you're not showing the Black Friday update. You're showing the original.
Oh, is there a Black Friday trailer?
There's a Black Friday level.
Down, tornado, down, or up. You go wherever you want to. How about that? Okay, there we go.
But yeah, I like the idea of them just adding a new level with a new look, and it's different. It's not a bar. It's this time it's just more weapons, more presence and stuff to mess with, and it would be fun, but it's so janky. Like it's so janky and just not fun to control, and it doesn't work very well, and it needs a performance update, like really bad. So I love the idea, but as far as the execution goes on it, not a big fan.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look at this. One of the game cats out there, Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
We're going to use your footage, my friend. And
Unity.
You say Unity?
Charlie Murphy. Fuck your couch.
Charlie Murphy. Charlie, you know what? So are there people out there who can teach you to speak in proper accents? Because
Yes,
I would love to be able to break into an English or Australian accent at will.
Boy Brown says it's just shit. I hate to say it, man. Like I'm rooting for this game now because I really like what they're going for in this update. But yeah, it's just not. It's so broken and hard to play, and for me, of all people, to say that like is not good. Is not good if I say that.
You of all people, your words not to be trusted. Otherwise, what's going on here?
Well, I believe that just, I don't usually struggle with controls. Like I usually figure them out pretty easy or like performance. Like I overlook a lot of bugs and stuff. I'll be like, okay, there's this problem here, that's fine. The rest of it's amazing. And so, no, I mean, I take that shit seriously, but
right.
But so I never saw any footage. Brian has failed to show you guys footage of Black Friday.
Yeah, it's
but the footage itself looks funny.
It's really hard to give a fuck. But
but the footage still looks really funny.
Yeah, I'm trying to switch over to Charlie Murphy's footage here, but it's not going well. Let's see. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, are you kidding me? Oh my god. Okay, so I thought this was supposed to be like a super small download. It's 287 meg. So if you guys want to hang out for a little bit, we
can move on from Drunken Bar Fight, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, sure. Dave, you want to talk about Drunken Bar Fight? What's going on?
I haven't tried the update yet, so I don't know. I think AJ, you played a little bit before the show, right?
I did.
Yeah, we were just finishing our chat on it. I didn't know if you wanted to contribute before we moved along.
Yeah, I mean, what did they add? Tell me what they added.
A new level with new weapons.
Okay.
Like I was saying, like there's like bees and stuff you can release. There's a jar of bees.
What's the new area? Like, what is this?
It's a Black Friday update. So it's weird because like it's got like Santa Claus in it. So it's like obviously it's like the middle of summer.
In like a mall or something?
It looks like a Walmart. It looks like a corner of Walmart or something.
Okay, so it's a different level. It's got a whole different theme and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was nice.
Okay,
that was refreshing.
Fighting in a Walmart. That sounds kind of fun, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, but the game is just still janky and as hell, and the turning is super slow and it's juddery. So it's just I don't know, it's just janky as all hell. But
so
they did say that
they added the voice acting, right? That was a previous patch where they put in all the voice acting.
So bad.
I don't think there was.
I didn't like it. No, they did. They added voices, and I tried it, and they were just like talking at me constantly, and I was like, no.
The last patch was voiceovers, the cell phone, the multiplayer, and like a lot. And the alleyway, which was a new environment, and a lot of it was just fucking busted, unfortunately. Wow, Charlie's got quite an introduction here. If this video is uncensored, this video is uncensored. If you let your child watch this, you are a bad parent. I say fuck a lot. Like, so, I mean, I really want to turn the sound up on this now. I just want to like be like, hey, Charlie, we're showing your video for the rest of the show.
Well, so
But
who is this? Whose video are we showing?
Charlie Murphy, he is a game cat, and I just grabbed it off of YouTube without his permission. So
Cool.
hopefully he doesn't mind. He streamed it last night, and it's only got a couple views, so we're going to give it an extra view with this.
Giving it a bump.
Yeah, hopefully he gets to the level soon, because we're just standing outside for now. You guys remember State of Emergency on PlayStation 2? It was like Rockstar's game after Grand Theft Auto, and everyone was like, "Ooh,
oh
that's
no,
like...
I didn't play that one. I'm thinking of State of Decay
Totally
on
different.
Xbox. That's a totally different game. Yeah.
This was like a mix between Grand Theft Auto and Dead Rising, but no zombies, just like chaos and fighting.
Riots at malls and stuff. And yeah,
Right.
it was when you were describing the scene, AJ, for the Black Friday update, that's what all I could picture was the PlayStation 2
Not even
game.
close.
Not even as good as that not so good game.
No.
Okay.
No, not even close.
Charlie has decided not to enter the Walmart, and so instead we're just looking at what's up.
Sue Miles in the chat has asked a question that I wish I could ask ever again or at any point in my life. She says, "What's Walmart?" Oh my god, the beautiful naivete of not knowing what the fuck a Walmart is. Oh my god, they're a giant corporation that has destroyed small business across the entire nation.
And if you're low income like myself, then it is one of the few places you can shop without breaking the bank. So they kind of get you no matter what.
Everyday low price.
They also remind you of that by being a total like hellscape to walk through.
Yeah.
Like it's not a good place to be, a Walmart. You don't want to be in a Walmart.
Right
For longer than you have to be.
You walk in,
It's
they're like,
the most
Brian, you are
depressing
financially
place.
unsuccessful. You are forced to shop in this hellhole.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. This is we've spent more time talking about drunken bar fight than it probably deserves, and I still haven't shown any of the footage. So let's just say fuck it and move on.
All right, so we got some good news. Pistol Whip has gotten out today their update, the Heartbreaker update for Quest and PC, and they did say that it is also coming soon to PSVR as well, and it is a massive content update with 3 levels. We touched base a little bit on this last week. Dave, you also had something to add on this.
Yeah.
Please take it away, and I'll be right back.
I read an article from, I think it's Upload VR. Let me see if I can find it right here. But basically, here it is. So in this new update, not only are they adding 3 new songs, which is cool because it's a free update, and it's going to have 18 songs instead of 15. There's these new modifiers called Vengeance and Disorder that you can combine with Deadeye to make like your own Expert Plus kind of mode. So Vengeance adds enemies that shoot back at you every time you land a shot, but it adds 10% to your score. And then Disorder rearranges which enemies have armor to kind of throw you off guard so you can't get like in the groove of, oh, I know where everybody is going to be. This is the guy with 2 shots. This is the guy with 4 shots. It remixes that.
So to clarify, it's not
these are modifiers, not a new difficulty mode. I've been asking for a long time for a 4th level of difficulty, although hard itself is pretty damn hard. But if you put Deadeye, Vengeance, and Disorder on in hard mode, that's like super Expert Plus. So they're giving more options to kind of make your experience more difficult if you want to, which is cool. And on the flip side, the 3 new songs are supposed to be really chill and laid back compared to the other ones. So they're adding more intensity and more variety at the same time with this update. Hopefully that comes soon.
Do you know if Disorder randomizes the guys with armor, or it's just a different mapping of guys with armor?
It says, so in this Upload VR article is what I'm looking at, and this wording is a little vague. It says changes up which enemies have armor. That could be
either or.
Like it's the same change every time, or it changes it up every time.
Interesting.
I would hope it would be somewhat randomized, because that would be, I would think Disorder is the concept to like throw you off if you memorized it already, you know?
Yeah. Shout out to David Moore with the $10 donation. Says, great and fun streams by PSVR Underground, Dave Station VR playing Vader Immortal this week. Also reiterating, awesome interview on today, PSVR Without Parole, about Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife. Thank you, David Moore. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. And after the fact, you get one of these. That's for you, David Moore.
I'm
People are all on about accents in the chat. What did I miss that everyone is talking about accents? They want me to do a UK or an Aussie accent, but before I got here, I saw a lot of "hello governors" in the chat.
Yeah, AJ.
What's that about?
AJ was reading reading one of Sue Miles's tips.
Yeah.
That was about as
Oh, he
British
didn't
as
try
I've
to
ever
do a
seen.
British accent, did he?
He did, and
Oh,
actually
no.
succeeded. I think the chat is a
Really?
little divided on it, but the people who said it did it well said he really did it well.
Yours is really bad.
Mine's
If
terrible.
we're being entirely honest.
Yeah, no, I was actually requesting if anybody knew of classes I could take to improve my accent.
Oh, that's where that was about. Yeah, masterclass, or they said something online you can take, like, yeah. Interesting.
That was actually going to be one of my should we shouldn't we's was Pistol Whip. That was something I've been playing a lot more lately. I got caught up in Dreams for the last month, learning all that, but I still want to do a review for both Dreams and Pistol Whip. And man, I got to say, Pistol Whip is just freaking awesome, you guys. It is so much fun, so addicting. I've started going after the trophies because I didn't know where to start. And like I did like the dead aim with the hard mode and got that trophy. And that was so difficult.
I bet,
And the game really is a workout. I mean, I played one round and I was sweating bullets. Maybe it was like 2 rounds, but it was still really difficult. And I was like just sweating like crazy because of all the movements and stuff. And it is just, but Pistol Whip is just awesome. The more I play it, the more I love it. I'm going to eventually get really good at it. And I want to get good at it like I did Beat Saber and just keep practicing, just practice. And I definitely plan on doing more streams of that game as well. Cause my first stream is when I started having internet issues and I want to redo that stream. So can't wait to show off some more gameplay of that. That game is just so good, man. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I don't know if I've told this story on a live show yet for the folks, but I had a friend over recently who had never played Pistol Whip before. And him and his girlfriend are kind of like into VR. When they come over, they want to play a bunch of stuff. And they get really excited about Beat Saber and Astrobot and these kind of, early experiences you have. But I figured this guy's going to love Pistol Whip, so I'll throw him in there. He's a very tall, kind of lanky guy. And so he was taking up way more space in my living room than I do. And immediately, turned around and almost punched a hole in my window behind me there because there was a guy behind him. And he was like, oh, no, I got to get that guy. So he just, turned around, completely forgot where he was. But immediately, he was just, in it. He was falling over my coffee table. He didn't care about physical space because that's how immersive it was, right off the drop. And I love seeing that kind of, certain games just get people in that mindset where, if they're not used to VR, they're almost they forget about reality entirely. And I think Pistol Whip is able to do that for people. It's a really good game. Anyways, that was a tangent. Sorry.
Steve IRE says, "What is it about Walmarts over there that attracts creepy people?" I don't think it's really creepy people. Although I think when the one near me was 24 hours, first of all, it's not in a good neighborhood. They never seem to be in a good neighborhood for some reason. And then they're open 24 hours a lot of the time. So if you have a schedule like mine, you end up being there at 2 a.m. And there's always drug deals going down.
That's when the weirdos like Brian come around.
No, exactly. Yeah. I certainly didn't make the place any more normal. I just added to the overall creepiness. So I think that's the reason. It's because they're not in good neighborhoods and they are certainly. I mean, there were some deaths, I think, in the parking lot of the one that's closest to me. And I was like,
I bet AJ could tell you about Murder Kroger. You know about Murder Kroger, right?
Murder
AJ?
Kroger.
That's an Atlanta thing.
Yeah. X-Pacer X with the $5 donation says, Brian, here's your first Australian accent lesson. Say these words as fast as you can. G'day, mate.
Okay. So
Good-eye, mate.
You said it differently than...
Good-eye, mate.
Good-eye, mate. Good-eye, mate.
There you go.
Good-eye, mate.
That's a good start.
Good-eye, mate.
Good-eye, mate.
Good-eye, mate.
Good-eye, mate.
Good-eye, mate. Good-eye, mate. Good-eye, mate. Good-eye, mate. Good-eye, mate. Good-eye, mate. Good-eye, mate.
I am ready to move on. We still have a lot of news to go through, guys.
All three of us say "good-eye, mate" at the same time, right when the tip comes in.
Yeah, we don't want this to be a 4-hour stream, so let's
I'm starving.
So Hitman VR is officially up for pre-order. Hitman 3, I should say. Hitman 3 is officially up for pre-order on PSN. They have the regular edition for $60, and then they have the deluxe edition for $80. But I think, or maybe it's 70 and it has a discount. I'll have to fact check that. It's 70 or $80. I don't know if I'm going deluxe edition with this one.
What's in the deluxe edition?
I'm
Like,
about
what do
to
you
tell
get?
you.
Yes, Brian will tell you because I'm slow.
Wait,
today.
it's up for pre-order on the PlayStation Store?
Yes. It
Oh.
was on.
Here
I
we
went
go.
to PSVR and then catalog and new.
So heads
and it
up,
was on-
yeah, $60 for standard edition, and it's $80 for the deluxe edition, but currently 10% off with Plus, so it's $72 if that makes you feel any better. Now the
what does
bundle,
that
the
entail?
deluxe edition
do you
gives you, let's see here, pre-order now to get the following digital content: Trinity Pack, Hitman 3 PS4 theme. Here we go. The deluxe edition includes, so that's just for pre-ordering. The deluxe edition includes exciting new content via the deluxe pack, deluxe escalation contracts, deluxe suits and items, digital soundtrack, digital World of Hitman book, director commentary for mission introductions. Wow, that's a whole lot of fucking nothing. It sounds like I don't know what deluxe
Well, what I want to know
escalation
is,
contracts
are those extra contracts playable in VR too? Because the whole game's in VR, right? So are they saying you'll get extra content like missions or extra challenge mode or something like that? I don't know what that means, because what is a contract in Hitman? It sounds like a stage. Go kill this guy. Like,
Yeah.
that's a contract. Like,
Yeah, I would bet that my guess would be it's not an extra stage. It's extra missions within stages that we're already getting. That would be
Probably.
my bet. But that seems like an expensive. It's $30 extra, man. It's 50%
It is a
more.
top. It is a very popular game. I mean, this is a big hitter.
Sorry,
The
20,
most
my bad.
significant thing about this as well is that it says January 20th is the release date.
oh, cool.
So January 20th.
Here's a question: is there a physical collector's edition that comes with like a bald cap or something, like some kind of cool thing?
I don't know about
Would
that.
you,
but,
would you wear a bald cap that had a barcode on the back of it?
Yeah.
Like, they have the Halo one that comes with the Halo guy head, and the
So
Doom one
funny.
that comes with the Doom guy head. And, you know, like, helmets are a
the, oth-
thing.
the other thing is that there will be a free upgrade. I think, or shoot, I gotta remember this now. They did mention something about the upgrade as well. I think Lipnox actually posted in the news section. Let me check, and he says, he says, "Rip Hitman 3." Shoot.
I'll tell you, I just went to Amazon to try to pre-order to see if there were any pre-orders available for Hitman 3.
Hitman PS4 is a free upgrade. So it says, yes, next gen upgrade. Yes, we're doing a next gen upgrade for consoles. And yes, it's free. Consoles players can buy, including pre order, a digital edition of Hitman 3 on the current generation of platforms and receive a free upgrade to next gen version of the game for no additional cost. So that's cool. That's like one of the very first upgrades we've heard.
But the question is, AJ, if I plug in my PSVR headset to my PlayStation 5 for this upgraded version, do I get to play it in VR?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You get
The
to play
game comes out in January before the PSVR 2.
No.
All you'll have is what are you talking about?
No. So
I see the question you're asking. Is
Right.
it the upgraded PS5 version in VR?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yes. I mean, how
think
could
so.
it not run better on the hardware? Like,
I'd say
even
yes.
If you gave it PS4 code, it'd probably run
That
better.
could be
You know,
confirmation of the very first PS5 game in VR.
right, pizza
Uh,
Well, I
bets.
hope we don't have to wait till January to get our first one, because if this shit drops in November or December, and we're looking at 2 months without any VR games that are PS5 native or supported,
Yeah.
that's lame. I hope we get something sooner than that. But
Yeah, this could certainly mean if this is true, and it's an actual PS5 version of the game, and it's playable with PlayStation VR, then that means I lost the first pizza bet.
there you go.
Yeah.
Real quick, guys, I want to make sure we give a shout out to ET2K9 Now and ET.2K9 Now with the $5 donation. He says, for the Thursday crew. I think we're the Thursday crew, guys.
We are.
Yeah. With a squeaky chair, Thursday crew. I wish this would stop squeaking.
Mine
So,
doesn't squeak enough.
but yeah, that might be the official first confirmation. I'm a subscriber to PlayStation Official Magazine, like I've said 1,000 times. I love that magazine. Highly recommend it if you like that kind of stuff. It actually has Hitman VR listed as a launch window game, something like that.
I think when you showed it to me, you said it was a launch game.
The launch title, yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's the official PlayStation magazine. Everything they say is official.
It is.
Not actually true though, right? It's just like they got permission from Sony to be the official one. It's not like this is like actually.
Nobody at Sony's writing it, right?
Like, right.
They also had a really cool article that
Shuhei's there, like, okay, let me write an article about Hitman 3 launch title. Yeah, it's not what's going on.
They had all the editors of the magazine or people that work there say what game would they want to see get PSVR support, and on PS5, and they were talking about like Ghostwire Tokyo, and like a couple other games. It was cool.
God, I hope Ghostwire Tokyo is a VR game. Now that we know it's first person and it's spooky, just want to play it. That would be one of my most
style too. It's like oozing with style. It looks so cool, and their take on these Japanese kind of like ancient but modern kind of monsters, like really cool shit.
Yes, Evan Moore, you can use your PSVR 1 on the PS5. They said that it will require an adapter for, was it the camera?
Yes.
The camera, and that they will tell us how. Yeah, it's going to be free, but they'll tell us how later. It's probably going to be an adapter that comes in the box.
I think AJ said you got to buy a box of Cocoa Puffs and you cut out the UPC and you send it.
That was such a bad joke.
Maybe it's Cracker Jacks, man. Maybe you're just going to buy Cracker Jacks until you finally get the prize.
Well, that was my follow-up joke to AJ's bad joke the first time. He made that bad joke. So we've brought back both the bad jokes. Thank you.
Okay.
And we got actually another tip from Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat, with $5. He says, "Here is some money for a cauliflower crust pizza." Brian, you that healthy? Is that how healthy you are these days?
I've been super unhealthy lately. I feel bad. I dropped off the weight loss challenge, but I'm headed back, man. I'm headed back.
Okay, this might be the way. This might be the way. Cauliflower crust pizza with no sauce and lots of vegetables.
I have a picture.
I'd rather just not do it.
I started dieting and had not really. But I started to have healthy pizza, and that is vegetable pizza. That is my.
I can't even tell what's on that thing.
It's got broccoli and mushrooms and stuff, and it's delicious.
Mushrooms. Mushrooms are worse than pineapple on pizza.
It's healthy pizza.
2 out of 3 people say mushrooms suck.
Yep. We're the only 3 people in the world. 2 out of 3 dentists agree. Mushrooms can suck it.
Mushrooms on pizza. All right. So yeah, moving on. Legend of Heroes: Path of the Wound has popped up on the Japan and Hong Kong store, and this is a Japanese RPG. Brian is very familiar with this.
Hold on, this is on the store?
It's on the Japanese and Hong Kong store.
Hong Kong must have English support.
It does not yet. It does not yet, unfortunately. But that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on.
Yeah. So I did read an.
What's the game called again? Because I don't know about this. Tell me this again.
Legend of Heroes.
Legend of Heroes.
Now, Legend of Heroes is a huge series. It's been around forever. I actually played the original one, which is called Dragon Slayer, not to be confused with Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer. You can move the S. I played that on the Turbo CD back in the day, TurboGrafx 16 CD. That was the original one. And so this series has been around forever. And then I played on PSP. There's 3 of them. And then now Trails of Cold Steel, I believe, are the most recent Legend of Heroes games. And there were 3 of those. And so this is amazing RPG series, to varying degrees. Some of them are a little bit more generic than others. But it's a great series.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. I'm reading about it. Mm-hmm. And I want to say something.
Yeah.
Toshihiro Kondo explained PlayStation VR support in The Legend of Heroes will be added via DLC after the game's release. He doesn't know when yet, but they're working on it. I'm going to skip a little bit here.
When's that from, though?
Yeah, hold on. But hold on. Let me finish.
Please.
This PlayStation VR DLC will unlock certain scenes in The Legend of Heroes where you'll get to pick your favorite female character.
Damn
and
it!
Chat with them.
It's a dressing room mode.
I was so hoping for
one
this.
Of those modes where
I
you
was-
play an RPG and then you can go chat with the anime ladies.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
and
damn it.
dress them up and stuff.
That
probably.
was exactly what I was afraid of.
Yeah,
because
it's
all these
right here in front of me. I'm reading it right here.
I'm just starving for a JRPG in VR, man.
Right.
I really
not
want a
gonna get it.
JRPG. And every single time one of these JRPGs has this, it's like, oh no, it's a room where you just look at like some anime chick or something. And it's like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to make a game
Where you can look at
actually-
the anime guys? Fucking
Here's the other
ridiculous.
thing. I'm reading
Bullshit.
another article about it that calls it a extra mini mode. I don't know what that means, but they say that it will only be accessible, the VR mode, after reaching a certain point in the story. So even if you just wanted to do the weird VR character viewer chat thing,
Yep.
you have to actually play through the whole flat game, or at least part of it, to get to that.
Yep.
So that sounds like a big pass.
For anyone
As
who
far as I'm
is still
concerned.
interested in it for whatever reason, I did check the store, and it does say in the description that the PSVR mode is there already. So it didn't end up being DLC apparently.
Okay.
But there's also a deluxe version. I'm not
the-
sure which one I
the-
checked.
The way the store describes it, it really sounds like it was the full thing. So I'm glad you found that. But I was very suspicious. I had a feeling. We got some tips to knock out real quick.
Well, a bunch of tips. Yeah.
We got Kramer 3K with a 5 donation, says, here's 5 for a little meat for Donatello's pizza. Wink. Belramio the Game Cat with a 5 donation, €5 as well. Says, would Hitman 3 on PS5 use DualSense? And if so, what's with VR? Sony said PS5 games don't support DualShock controller.
Very
It's actually a good point.
Yep.
It would have to be DualSense. Yeah.
It would have to be
Really?
DualSense. If it, yeah, so that could be potentially, we might hear more, but that could be the first PS5 VR game with the DualSense.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Belramio is making an excellent point
Strangling
here.
people-
I'm getting renewed hope of winning that pizza bet.
We'll see. We'll see.
Sue Miles with the £5 donation says not to have cauliflower near a pizza at all. World's gone mad. I know. I agree, Sue. Scott Jessico with the $4.99 donation.
Harry fella.
What's up, Scott? Says PSN Harry fella at work again. Watch when I get home.
Nice.
Hashtag PSVR Gamecat for life.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Gamecat for life.
Love
And then
it.
finally, Donatello the Scientist Gamecat, pass me a ninja slice with the $5 donation, says we need more RPGs on the PSVR. Yes, I agree. We have Skyrim and we have like a couple other ones. This Operencia we were just talking about earlier is going to be awesome, but I really want like a real JRPG.
Yeah.
Like Nostos kind of fell off the radar after it didn't look very promising. There's some MMOs and stuff that have been saying they're in the works for years now. But yeah, it's just, we got to wait. But I would love a JRPG in VR. How cool would that look?
Yeah.
Beautiful art style.
I think next gen, man, we're gonna just start seeing a lot more of those games that just we would never expect to be in VR. Being able to flip that switch, and hopefully it's gonna happen a lot more frequently with genres we wouldn't normally expect, and hopefully for genres we do expect, like Call of Duty games, man. How much more mainstream can VR get if Call of Duty decided to adopt VR, right?
Yeah.
And shout out to Hugh Guyver with the Australian $10 donation, who only writes with emojis: pizza, 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 money, 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 fire, fire, fist bump.
Fist bump to you.
Say hi
Shout
to
out to your cousin Mac.
That's right. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, but JRPGs, man, is that too much to ask? Somebody make it out.
Apparently.
Maybe I'll make it in dreams. Maybe I'll make
What
it.
I'm worried about. It seems like all these Japanese developers don't realize that people want to play the game in VR. They think they just want to look at ladies in VR. Because, like, if you look at Western RPGs, I mean, Bethesda's not the whole Western RPG market, but let's throw a few out there. Skyrim, they were like, yeah, let's make the whole game in VR. Fallout, which is an RPG as well, they said, yeah, we'll do a VR one of that. It doesn't work that well, but they did it. And it seems like every Japanese RPG company is just like, no, we're just going to put in a thing where you talk to the girls. And I don't know why that's such a constant thing. It must have to do with the market in Japan. Maybe that is like an add-on that people are excited about in certain markets, but like here, that's a total pass for
It might
everybody.
be a
Like,
cultural difference too.
yeah,
I think
I
it's
just
a
feel
huge
like-
cultural difference. Yeah.
I just hope they come around to the fact that we actually want the game in VR, like not
Yeah.
just the other part. I'm here for the game part.
Even
So,
if it's third person, I just want to experience that world in VR.
Yeah.
But
No objections here for sure.
all right, so moving on, Iron Man got an update.
David Moore makes an excellent point.
that was a good Vita zing.
Yeah.
Did wonders.
Yeah.
for me.
Also still an amazing handheld. And that Call of Duty game isn't that bad. Play Killzone Mercenaries instead. Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, you're fine. Iron Man got this huge update last week. It was actually the day after. I think was it Friday we got this update.
Yeah, day after Gamescast.
Yeah, day after Gamescast. So we didn't get to talk about it last week. I finally got to play it though, and yeah, it added a whole bunch of things such as faster loading times, which was our main gripe. It also added new decos, and it added new weapons to use. Were there new challenges too, or no?
New challenges for the deck to unlock the decos.
Okay.
But different like flight and combat challenges. I don't remember. I could be honest.
Yeah, so I actually played this today, and man, I gotta say, I didn't have anything to say about it before because I hadn't played it, but this update is awesome, man. The loading screens make a huge difference. I know it's like 20, 30 seconds off of what it was, which was like maybe up to 2 minutes sometimes, but no, the loading screens, in my opinion, are like pretty much fixed. Maybe not where they're placed,
Wow.
but when I was playing them, I didn't feel like I was waiting in the loading screen for a long time anymore.
Well, so,
and I loved it.
Quick question. It sounds like, Brian, you went back and played through campaign stuff in the New Game Plus mode after the update. AJ, did you just do challenges or did you play the New Game Plus? Because if you just played challenges, then it sounds like the loading times being increased would have been a huge thing. But like Brian said, it's the frequency of the loading screens that's still a remaining issue if you're doing the actual campaign storyline stuff.
That is true.
And they are still long too. It's not.
Yeah, that's definitely. So if you're hopping into a challenge,
I was doing post-game content, yes.
Yeah, so if you skim off 30% of that, that's huge because that's just one loading screen. Right. But if you still got them peppered throughout, like, I just want to be clear to people that they didn't remove any loading screens. They shortened the existing ones. So as you've played through, probably
which, by the way, that was a pizza bet of ours that we said they were going to reduce the loading screens, and you said they wouldn't. So,
me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll buy myself a pizza then.
Dave, you definitely
you can buy yourself a pizza.
That's how it works, right? I buy myself a pizza.
Yes,
if I'm wrong.
it's fine.
I'm pretty sure you said they wouldn't be supporting this game in the future and that they kind of sent it out to die. I remember that clearly, and I think you owe us some pizzas, but we'll see if future pizza bets might balance it out.
If somebody in the chat can find a timestamp of that, I'll buy you.
It will be easy to find.
Guys, each get half a pizza.
So it does seem like, to answer your question, AJ, that the challenges that they added were for the decos only, not new flight or combat challenges.
And so to explain that,
I had some.
Oh, just real quick to explain that discrepancy between what a challenge is and like a combat challenge or whatever. Picture it like a thing in Firewall where it's like you got to do this many times to unlock a certain thing, or like it's something you do during the gameplay, regardless of what stage you're in, for the most part, to unlock the decos and stuff. Whereas they're talking about challenges that are like, this is a specific stage where you race or you do combat or something like that. They're like background challenges, you could call it.
All right.
But so how hard are those new ones for the decos? Like,
so this is what I was going to say was actually I had some new decos just starting out, and they look fucking awesome. I had War Machine and I had like this like Snow Fortress one. I don't remember what it's called. I had a couple new decos just right off the bat. Brian, you didn't have those?
It wasn't what I was in what I was playing for. So I wasn't checking those out. So I might have them, and I might not. I was just trying to get into the game to see the loading screens and try out some of the new weapons. So I might have them, I might not.
Well, I love the way they look. I've always loved the decos from the beginning of this game, and the new decos look really awesome. And yeah, like I said, I didn't play through the story again, so I will have to test that out. But even just the main loading screen when you first start the game, and then like when I booted into my post game mode, end game mode and stuff like that, everything was a lot faster. It was just nice. It was nice having very little time to think or do anything, and then the level be ready. So just really, really great job from Camouflage on getting this update out, and I hope to see more updates on this game because yeah, the new weapons I liked as well. The gravity, they are a little OP, but I think once you try to do that like 50 wave challenge, you're gonna need those OP weapons. They're a little OP for the regular stuff, but yeah, maybe not for like the new game plus mode or the invincible mode.
Excellent. Yeah, no,
right.
I'm really happy. I'm really happy to hear your opinions on it because I think during viewer takeover when we answered that question, I think I was the only one who played it. So I'm really happy you spent some time with it. That's awesome. That is awesome to hear that. I wasn't the only one that absolutely enjoyed this update quite a bit. Kramer 3K says, I recall Dave saying Iron Man would be a drop and forget with quotes and everything.
Hey, all right.
I see you in the chat. You're trying to defend yourself with more lies. Yeah. Cover up your lies with lies.
So moving on, The Walking Dead The Walking Dead Onslaught is now available for pre-order. Says coming October 2nd for the
that's the same day as Squadrons.
That's the physical version.
Yeah,
though. It might be coming before then. Did we have a release date for? No, it was like September 25th, 29th, something like that for Onslaught.
September 29th, so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. The physical will be coming a few days later, but you can go ahead and pre-order your physical edition from straight from Perp Games, from Amazon, from 365, from Smith's Toys, Game Collection, Shop for World. They've got like every region. If you go just to the link then on Perp Games Twitter, you can find it anywhere. So anybody interested in that, I didn't really care about the pre-order incentives, the gold weapons and gold and the scarf thing, but still looking forward to the game. Hope it's good.
Just some kind of skins as well for pre-ordering. It's like, what's the point of skins in a single player game? I mean, I guess we were just talking about how cool decos are in Iron Man.
Yeah, they have them in Iron Man. It's kind of the same deal.
If they look good, they're really great. But
there better be mirrors on every single level. You're like, oh, look at me, there I am. There's my skin. I get to see my. I don't know.
Yeah. But that's all I got for that, guys. It is time to talk about the main topic of the evening. Introducing first.
I don't know how to do it.
Vader Immortal has released this week, and I cannot wait. I want to hear what all the feedback you guys have, because it seems like it's pretty divided about this game. But we are very excited to talk about it. Let's get to it, man. Vader Immortal's out.
I'm going to throw this down right off the bat. The reason it's divided is because some people haven't played it because they said, I will not buy a game with click turning and teleportation, and that is just rude to me as a consumer to even offer that for sale, and I hate it, and I will never buy it unless it's $8 for the whole package. This is the kind of shit I'm reading online. There are a lot of people who are backlashing against this game, not realizing that all of the fun stuff happens when you're not moving, and the teleporting is barely even an issue for the most part. And people are just writing it off to begin with.
Real quick, two things about that. One is that there's a lot of people who have, no spoilers for sure. There are a lot of people who have played it and are pissed off about it. So it's not just people saying, "Oh man, that's gonna suck." But at the same time, I mean, I mentioned this in my review. I hate the fact that I can't walk alongside Vader. I can't walk alongside Zoe.
That's true.
These are characters that are constantly walking in front of me, opening the doors for me, and then I'm like click, click, click behind them, like following like a fucking lost puppy dog, being like, please let me follow along. Can I come too? Can I come on your adventure? Like a useless sidekick. Okay. I'm supposed to be the hero, and I'm like following behind, click, 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 and the whole thing blinks out and comes back.
Can we start this over? Because we're starting this Vader thing very negative right off the bat.
I have a lot of positive things to say. Let's get the negatives out of the way, maybe.
Let's not gripe.
You brought up teleportation, and I'm trying to take down one thing at a time, and you brought up teleportation immediately. So I was like, let's talk about that while we're on it.
I was sort of trying to frame the debate, but I guess I was wrong because people have played it and they still don't like stuff about it.
Yeah, but I played it. I'm talking about my experience, and I didn't like that shit like big time. I was like, teleportation ruins this game.
What did you give it? What score did you give it?
Like 8.2, I think. So I did enjoy it, but man, it ruins what could have been an awesome part of the game, which is just simply walking around, moving around.
At the same time, there is no exploration. It's entirely linear. You're walking through a hallway.
Mhm.
So despite the fact that it would be nice to walk beside Darth Vader, you're not losing much in the actual, it's not like you would want to be walking around for 30 minutes anyways. You're really just going to that place in front of you the entire time.
I wouldn't even mind if it had blood and truth locomotion, where it's just like, I want to go over there. Let's like, it's something better than what they gave us, because it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, the fade out, I don't like the fade out and the fade back in. I'll agree with you.
Did it while we're on teleportation, AJ, what did you think of it?
So I despise teleportation and click turning. I usually would be tearing most games apart. I kind of gave this one a little bit of a pass, but that being said, this needs a smooth locomotion update, a smooth turning update. It needs that, as well as a few other things, such as lining up the wrist properly. It's funny to me how, but this is the thing though. I think it was designed well to have teleportation in it, despite there being some bugs. I do feel like
originally teleport only, by the way, when it came out, right. It was originally teleport.
And it's designed around that, and I think because of that, it did kind of help it a little bit, because it's not like.
I think we're back.
Okay.
All right.
So
sorry, the stream seems to drop out for a second there, and I almost lost you, but I think we're back.
So again, they need to have a full locomotion update. I hate the term lazy port, but there are definitely some things here where it's like they just completely skip this. Number one, and I've got a lot of great things to say about this game too, so I'm just kind of airing this out.
I want to respond to this lazy port after you're done.
So I hate that term, by the way, but there are things where it's like, this is a premium like game. This should be like the star of PSVR right now. And there's, for some reasons instead, it's mostly positive, but some people are divided. But there's 3 episodes. Carlos, listen to me. Carlos, look at me. Look at me, Carlos. There you go. There are 3 episodes, Carlos, and those 3 episodes should have been combined into one bundle instead of 3 separate games. You listening, cats? Are you listening? 3 separate games that should have been combined into one, given trophies for all of them, and then a platinum trophy, and then have one game to launch, have one main menu where you can choose each episode. Perhaps when you finish the first episode, it unlocks the next episode, and then same with the dojos. And it should have all been combined into one. But like I said, the other little things, the wrists are like floppy and not integrated properly. And then what bugs me about teleportation and click turning is that you actually like teleport into walls and stuff, and the orientation is off, and it's like, it's just frustrating because it's like you have this limited movement system and yet it has problems that it shouldn't have. Like if you had just if you had like smooth locomotion, it's like you wouldn't have this issue. And so it's just ironic to me that the experiences and the teleport only are having more issues than smooth locomotion. And that to me is ridiculous and unacceptable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so I got to ask you guys this: did you experience click turning in episode 1, but then smooth click turning in episode 2 and 3?
It was a little different. There was something extra, and it was depending on how you hit the button, I thought. It wasn't every time I hit it did that. Sometimes it still reverted to the old way, but then if I pressed it a certain way, it would kind of smoothly, but it was still click.
It was just strange to have what felt different types of turning in episode 2 and 3 than I had in 1. Like, what is going on here? Like, what? I don't even.
But I want to respond to that idea of a lazy port, because in some ways you could say that, with the controls, you could say, okay, this is a lazy port. I think in almost every other way, I would not call it a lazy port, despite the fact that it's spread out into 3 chapters. I don't know if any of you guys saw the breakdown, like visual comparisons.
Sorry,
on Upload VR. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Upload VR did like a full visual comparison between PCVR, Quest, and PSVR. And while some things weren't as good on PSVR, they said the lighting and the character model for Vader, which I agree with both of these, were better on PSVR than they are on any other platform. They improved Vader's character model from PC, and the lighting is actually more vibrant. Like when you flash that lightsaber in your face for the first time, it's blinding, and the darks are really dark. There's more, I think. I don't know if it's the display of the PSVR or just something they did to get it to run on a PS4, but there are visual changes that are positive. Especially Mustafar looks like shit on the Quest, and I thought it looked great on PSVR. There's a lot of depth to it that wasn't there.
I did think graphically it looked pretty excellent overall. Really good. And the lighting, like you said, that even before uploads thing, I was saying how good the lighting was. And it made me realize I've always said there's something about PlayStation games that I just love the graphics for some reason, something about it that I can't put my finger on. And it was this game, along with Dreams, making my own games and Dreams, that made me realize I love the lighting effects and the lighting quality that PlayStation games have. They can make such a huge difference. And I was literally taking my lightsaber and like shining it up against everything like that I possibly could, even my gloves, and they just have that reflective surfaces and stuff. And you know, I don't want to say lazy port, but I will say rushed port. I think rushed is the proper word.
What I think happened is they got a release date and they said, hey, we'd like to include all the stuff that we have on Quest with smooth turning and smooth locomotion. And Sony said, hey, you're dropping frames. You can't do that. Because there is stuff in the settings menu that sort of refers to locomotion. But at the same time, it doesn't do much of anything because that option that would have been there on Quest isn't there that it affects.
Yeah,
so
accelerated
what I think happened probably is something along the lines of like, you know, we've heard stories of Sony telling people to go back in the QA process because a load screen dropped a frame. And we've also heard that sometimes locomotion and smooth turn can cause dropped frames as well. So if they wanted to get it out on release date, they might have just said, okay, put it out like it is. We'll patch it in a few months or a month, or I don't even know how long. But I do assume that at some point we will get those things because every other platform has them. And they didn't start with them. It didn't begin as a full locomotion smooth turning game. That came after launch,
right.
If I remember correctly. So I would expect the same here. I think they probably just had to hit a release date. Sony was like, you're dropping frames. They were like, all right, we'll save that for later.
It does seem strange though, right? It's like this came out episodically on Quest, and here you go. It's like you get to bring it all to PlayStation VR, and they decided to force you to buy a bundle that delivered 3 episodes separately. It was just like
what I'm confused about, because maybe part of the deal with Oculus, and I could see this, is like, okay, we'll let you have it, but you got to tell us that people are going to buy all 3 in one sweep. Like we get our money because we know that they don't buy episode 1 and say, oh, I don't like this, and don't spend the other $20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Does that make sense? So that might have been part of the licensing deal, you know, to say, okay, it's a bundle, but they can't buy them individually.
Right.
Well, buying individual, I wouldn't. I'd be really mad about buying these individually, anyways, because it wasn't without all 3 episodes that I really like. I thought the story kind of like came together, and of course, it's not the deepest story or anything.
On the flip side, when I bought them episodically on the Quest, I waited a few months between each one, and that was fine. I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, it's exciting. There's a new, like, I think the best way to release it would have been the
so
same
mad.
Quest is like, here's episode 1, let that simmer. Here's episode 2, let that simmer. Here's episode 3, let that simmer. And then you have a bundle that's cheaper that has all 3 in one package. But obviously that's not how it went. The only justification I would have for them being split into 3 different downloads and 3 different launch files, which is weird, is that they are episodes, like Star Wars movies are episodes. And so they may have wanted to keep them separate in that way to be like, this is episode 1, this is episode 2. Yeah. And then the other thing is the lightsaber dojos are significantly different between each one. Like what you can do in them, your skill set changes vastly between the first lightsaber dojo and the third lightsaber dojo. And so I think separating those into different packages kind of makes sense instead of just having one dojo thing that has all three, and you just, I don't know.
But they missed an opportunity to have like this really cohesive experience where you play episode 1, then it unlocks the dojo, then it unlocks episode 2 within the same game, and then you play episode 2, it unlocks episode 3 and episode 2's dojo. Like it could have been this like way more structured thing where you felt not only a sense of progression, but like that you had bought a finished, polished product that was different on PlayStation VR. It's like you just
I can see Sony trying to get that done, but I can't see Oculus Studios going out of their way in their own product that they developed to create a whole new experience for a different platform that it wasn't originally intended for. So, because like if that was the case, Quest users who got it on Quest and bought a Quest for Vader Immortal would be like, what the fuck? It's better on PSVR. It's seamless. It's all like there's no transitions. That would introduce some kind of, discord, I think, where people who already played the game would see a better version of it on a platform that isn't even the people who developed the game. And that wouldn't be good for them. I think they did it the way they had to, honestly.
Maybe they did it the way they had to, but as far as PlayStation VR owners are concerned, it does seem like a rush port or even a sloppy port, however you want to look at it. And it does have the issue is that we never mind waiting, or I never mind waiting for games on PlayStation VR or PlayStation in general consoles. Because it usually gives time to get all these bugs worked out and to get all these things that might have been issues at some point. Be like, okay, well that didn't quite work at launch, and we've added full locomotion since then, and now we can integrate it from the get-go on PlayStation VR and deliver a polished, complete experience. And then what we got was an inferior product to Quest in the first place.
It's still got a lot of bugs too.
So many
There's
bugs.
definitely still a lot of bugs.
Right.
So, despite
not like totally game breaking, by the way. I don't want to say that these bugs are like.
Yeah. We all really liked it.
Yeah, this is the funny thing is that, I was going to say, despite all these things, and I know some of the cats are going to be mad to hear me say this, but it wasn't a great port, but I still think it's a really good experience. And we got the majority of that really good experience. And those little things absolutely need to be updated to enhance the experience, yes. But that being said, I freaking love this game, man. Like I love this as an experience. It's maybe not the best like game ever, but like especially like I enjoyed the story. The little tilt brush cutscene stuff was kind of weird, but it was whatever. It didn't like.
It was like something different, and they were well done. I mean, there was a lot of depth and color in the scenes.
I usually don't like that kind of stuff, but because it was kind of like 3D looking and stuff, I liked the story overall. I liked how they were trying to tell the story of these characters. I've always liked spin-off stuff for Star Wars.
It is kind of jarring, but at the same time, once you settle into it, you're like, oh, this is cool. I like these scenes.
It's not as good as like just a graphical rendering of like stuff, but like a realistic looking thing. But
the first one, I didn't like the first one at all.
Okay,
I didn't like the first one at all. It seemed to, I don't know, it seemed really generic. But then the second and third one, I think, I thought were actually pretty cool. In fact, when you actually see Vader, like the rendition of Vader in one of those, I was like, ooh, that's a really fucking cool, dark looking, sinister looking Vader. I was like, that was impressed. That impressed me finally.
Yes, I enjoyed the story for what it was. It was kind of like, the climbing and stuff was the first episode I thought set a really good impression. The first episode was like, it had this story unfolding. It was exciting. It kind of felt like an adventure. There was so much stuff to interact with, like the ladders and all the stuff on the ship you can play with. But then, the second episode is probably my least favorite, although playing it the second time, kind of knowing what to do was a little bit better. And then the third episode I thought was like really like the action packed one, but it works like that. Like you kind of just slowly move along. You have this, you slowly move along through the story and it's telling the story. I thought the characters were pretty cool, but then there's these action scenes where it puts you in one spot. You can't move. And this game does a lot of things that we are usually like super against. But
yeah,
because
it's got lightsabers in it, man.
I do like using the lightsaber because that's what it's ultimately trying to do, is trying to make you feel like a badass, trying to make you feel like a Jedi, and they give you a good bit at your disposal, and like the reflecting stuff, the parrying attacks, I thought felt really good overall. The combat, even though it's wave shootery, it's still pretty fun to me. Like, and you know, it's not 360, but I don't really care about 360.
Yeah, I mean, I think the combat is where it distinguishes itself, and the story kind of does itself a disservice by reducing those to very small moments. Like, it's good as an experience. Like, as a Star Wars kind of fan, I like it well enough. Um, I like the scenes when you come up close with Vader and you've got droids in your face trying to stick shit in you, you know. And, like,
Yeah.
there's some scenes where you really feel like you're in this world, like when you're in the hangar and all the TIE fighters are there and all those troops and stuff. I liked those set pieces. There's a lot of really
Yeah.
good set pieces.
I love
And
looking at the set pieces. Absolutely.
both the second and third chapters have pretty big fights that span a few different sections. And I won't
Yeah.
spoil too much about it, but they're pretty epic. They're pretty goddamn
Don't
epic.
spoil anything about it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
one of them has Darth Vader in it. Can I tell you that?
Genetic blasphemy says story was shit. Vader. Oh shit.
But,
Hold on.
but no, what I was trying to get to is not
I
the
gotta
story.
I gotta remove that because I don't want any spoilers. Sorry, genetic blasphemy.
Oh, you put a spoiler down. Okay.
But I disagree that the story was bad. I don't know. Genetic blasphemy. Are you
Like-
a huge Star Wars fan? Because
See,
the
Solo, that
people
movie
the
sucks.
people that I know that hate Star Wars are also the biggest Star Wars fan. So it would
Yes.
make like my friends that are the biggest Star Wars fans that I know, like they hate Star Wars. They have like one of the most confusing fan bases I've ever seen. Like nothing is ever good enough for
Well,
them.
no one can
And-
agree on
You're a
what
Star
movies are
Wars
good.
fan.
Yeah, nobody can agree.
And
Nobody
by
can agree on the movies.
hating Star Wars. That's the only way you can prove you're a real Star Wars fan these days.
By
You
what?
hate Star Wars.
Is
Just
you hate Star Wars? Yeah. Well, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, and I like
That's
a lot of
why
the games and
Middle ground,
Yeah.
because like I don't have to over analyze anything or compare it to my lifelong burning passionate fucking desire for this franchise. I'm just like, oh, Star Wars is cool. I like lightsabers. Darth Vader's a cool guy. Like this is all interesting. I don't know. It's a fun
entertaining to me. It's
fun
entertaining.
mythology to play with, and I don't care if you play with it. So like if there's a scene where it's in a totally different art style, I'm like, cool. And like in Last Jedi when they used powers that nobody ever knew Jedis have, I'm like, cool, whatever. Do whatever you want, man. It's fun. It's Star Wars. But I think really what I was trying to say is the combat is the core of what's going to keep you with this game, because the dojos, really, once you get through that 2.5, 3 hour story thing, the dojos will give you hours and hours and hours and hours of stuff that as a Star Wars fan is pretty nerd out worthy. Like you unlock all these different lightsaber hilts. You can get the dual bladed Darth Maul lightsaber. You can have dual lightsabers. You've got force powers, like all kinds of cool stuff to do and unlock. And it gets pretty damn challenging in those dojos. Like, I don't know, man. It's tough.
The dojos are really so. I did like the scenes in the story where there was like fighting and stuff. It was cool, like having stormtroopers come out and you're deflecting them. It was very much like it works almost like an arcade rail shooter, where you kind of like you're like teleporting through the game.
I'd
and
almost
then-
liken it to like a theme park ride or something, where like there's set pieces where it's like this is a big action moment, but then you move on.
That's
like
that's why I have such a problem with people tearing this game apart. Because I'm like, what else have you played? Have you seen some of the crap that that we've gotten? Like this is so high quality compared, even with all the issues. This is so much more quality than a lot of the stuff we've gotten. Like Summer Funland and
if nobody out here owned a PSVR headset already, and Disney World was saying you can pay $20 to play this Vader experience, people would get in there and be like, that was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely. And I can back that up because if you've been to, I went to like the aquarium and I paid $13 for a 5-minute underwater, like time traveling ride. And it was shit. It was so freaking bad. And if there was something like this in like Disneyland or whatever, like you said, like this is actually good compared to some of those like experiences that you pay like $15 for.
That's kind of how it's designed too. Like I feel like, you know, you get on the skiff and that's like the fun part of an action ride, you know, where you're in this thing where, oh, the guys came over here, pew, 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 pew.
Yep.
And, you know, more and more location-based VR is doing this kind of stuff where it's like, okay, you have to walk up and pull this lever and shoot these, you know, stormtroopers or whatever. But really,
Brian?
the thing that we haven't talked about yet, Brian looks like he's going to say something, but I want to say this real quick first. The look and the feel and the sound of the lightsaber itself is so goddamn Industrial Light and Magic good. Like, it's perfect. The crackle when you swing it fast, the way it flickers when you shake it around, everything about it is just like what you want a lightsaber to look and feel and sound like. And they did like an incredible job there. I mean, it was like that on Quest 2, but it's still just as good on PSVR. And you have an actual lightsaber handle for a controller. So there's that. Brian, what do you have brewing?
I agree with Wargarble. He says, you get to be a Star Wars.
You get to be Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah. You get to be Iron Man. You get to be like that. That's always like something that like sells us on a VR game, and you do get to be a Star Wars in this. Like you absolutely,
You do.
Yeah. So I actually don't agree so much with the lightsaber stuff. It's so funny because
Really, I think the lightsaber is so well done. I think it's like incredible. Did you try putting two lightsabers together in the dual wield and hear the crackle and see the way that they interact?
I carved my name on the side of an Imperial building too.
Yeah, dude, it's so nice. I don't know. So you didn't like them? Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not that I didn't like them.
Explain this to me because I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they honestly feel a little chintzy. Like if I hit something hard, like I could break the light. like it's gonna crack in half or something. It felt
short.
It does go out. If there was something
does a
that
little
was too thick.
I think the reason that you feel like it's short is because they modeled it more on the older lightsaber, like the original lightsaber models. The original lightsabers weren't as long as the ones you see in the recent movies, if I remember correctly. I think they were more stubby.
David, longer is always better.
Well, that's the motion of the ocean.
True. But there were things I really enjoyed about it. You hit the what was it? Was it the square button to initiate it and retract it?
Triangle.
Is it really crazy?
I think it's so if you got four.
I thought it was square.
It's the triangle starts on the top right and it goes counterclockwise. Triangle, X, triangle, circle, X, square.
Gotcha.
Anyway, so it's but when you hit the square to retract it, it's like it's got smoke that like resonates like out of the hilt, and I was like, these are cool like little effects and stuff. But it didn't help that when I was holding it, I kept looking while I was holding it in my hand, I'd lift my visor up and go, this isn't the same angle that I'm holding.
Okay, well, so that's the one problem. That's not so. You're not really saying a counterpoint to what I was saying, which is that the lightsabers look and sound awesome.
No, they sound amazing. I will not argue with the fact they sound amazing.
The audio visual presentation. The sound design. And real quick, like in the dojo, if you have three guys on your left side and you're not even looking that way, you can tell from the directional audio which of those three guys on the left is about to shoot you. Yeah. It's really fucking good. Yeah. But I agree with you on the tracking thing. The wrists are weird as fuck. So it's not the lightsaber itself, it's just the way it tracks your hands. It's not like straight up and down if you're holding it straight up and down. I've noticed that it has this weird tendency to either go all the way in or all the way out, and there's no middle ground. If you try to hold it straight, the back of your hand starts wobbling like crazy because it doesn't want to do that. It wants you to be holding it like this or like that. So there's something weird with the hands. I agree. Anyways, continue.
No, I don't know. I just wasn't really impressed by the feel of them. They look amazing in terms of the effects that come along with it. When you swing it, it's got an awesome light trail. I totally agree. The sound is amazing. It's like feels like you're totally feels like you're in a movie. But there was just something about the way it felt, and my only lightsaber experience in VR has been Beat Saber, and there's something about it must be the refresh rate that makes it feel so this tracking just feels so incredibly smooth and silky. In Beat Saber, that was like, ooh, this doesn't quite have that. Well, the game's doing a lot more. I understand.
So I think that's just like a port issue, and I don't think that's the game itself, because having played it on Quest and stuff. It is really, when you hold the Quest controller, it's straight up when you're holding it straight up. And it feels very one-to-one. And what people have said that have played both, I've heard, is that the PSVR is a little tilted for some reason. I don't know why. But this is something that, if enough people say, hey, what's the deal with this? Yeah. Maybe we could consider a patch at some point in the future. Because if it was that one-to-one up and down, because I really think the thing is that it's not tracking you. Like if you hold
it's like your hand. It's like kind of like a hybrid of your hand.
Yeah, it's like a little off the axis all the time. And I did actually have a couple of moments where I'd be swinging full force, and it would be kind of sluggish. It would like sort of not respond to my full swing. But I was staring right at the camera.
Oh man.
It was only Dojo 2 though. I'll say it was only Dojo 2.
Yeah. So I have this weird thing, man. I pointed the move straight up and it felt like it was straight up. I don't know if maybe mine just doesn't have an issue or if my tracking is off that's actually fixing it. But I know Brian has said something. I know Jamie
It's
from
seriously
Upload said
5
something.
degrees off. It's a serious like boom where I'm like lifting the headset and I'm like, this is not like,
I was
wrong.
I know when it was in my hand, it seemed like it was matching my hand, but not the saber. But it still was like my hand, and that's where most of the control comes from. So it was like fine, but I like stuck my hand straight up in the air like last night, and it felt like it was pointing straight up because I was trying to put it to that test that you guys were saying. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't like paying close enough attention, but I was pretty much like, yeah, this is fine. But so.
I want to point out there, you said maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention. I think if you're playing the game and just focusing on where is my lightsaber in the game, you're not going to notice it that much, honestly. It's only if you do what Brian said, where you like pull off your headset and you're like, oh, that doesn't look right.
But I did it for a reason. I've never pulled off my headset in Beat Saber and went, hold on a second, does this match up? Why the fuck would I do it? Because it feels right. When something feels off, I look into it further, and something felt off to me. It was 5 degrees off. In any other game, if my hands are 5 degrees off, if my gun's 5 degrees off, if something's off,
most of the time I notice
look
that
into
stuff.
it.
Yeah, if the hands are too big or too small. There's always I notice that too. I'm just not noticing with this game. I don't know what it is. But I will say, have you? I don't know how deep you guys have gotten into the dojo, but so the dojo is like where, like we were saying, the meat of the gameplay is.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to level 31 on dojo.
That's further than I've made it.
On dojo 3, I love dojo 3 awesome. Because it gives you, it kind of gives you the mix of. I do like dojo 2 as well. But there's tons of unlocks in the thing once you finish the game. There's tons of lightsabers to do. There's different gloves you can unlock. You have to get like 3 imperial signs or whatever when you do really well in it. It's got like, if you use one saber, then it gives your other hand that you can use the force. If you use 2 sabers, then you can really just like chuck them, and you're kind of limited to that unless you like put your saber away. But it gets a little like clunky trying to do that. But
the thing about that one too is that if you look behind you to your left and right, you can pick up a blaster or a thermal detonator and use those. And also, there's stormtroopers that you can steal their weapons and shoot the blaster back at them.
That's mostly what I do is I steal their weapons. What you really want to do is get good at like picking up robots and like slamming them into the other bots, because that's quick and easy. My favorite so far is one saber and then just using the force. And I don't know what it is, but if you get like a combo or something, then you get the lightning powers and you just start shooting
50 enemies in a row, you get the lightning
50 enemies in a row?
That's what people in my chat last night were telling me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then you get the lightning powers and you just start...
I've never used those. I've never killed 50 guys in a row, I guess.
I did it a few times.
What I both love and hate about the challenge dojo, the lightsaber dojo stuff, is that they really force you to master the powers. And when you come off of playing the campaign and you get into the dojo, you've had to fight people maybe like a handful of times, and you didn't have the chance to like master these abilities. You know what I mean?
Right.
The dojo will throw you into the deep end and be like, oh, to get 3 stars, you have to kill these guys this quickly without taking any damage. And what that requires is, like AJ said, knowing how to throw one guy into another guy and like block the right way, and just you have to be a master of all of your skills at once to get a good score on half of these stages. Like, they would let me progress on a certain round, but I'd get 0 out of 3, and I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
And then the next one I'd get 2 out of 3. So there are certain, like, based on your skill set, you'll be better or worse at different challenges, I think. But then it forces you to go back and say, why wasn't I good enough at this? What does it take for me to get that 3 out of 3 so I can unlock like Darth Maul's lightsaber or whatever the fuck I want?
Yeah.
So that's the driving factor in the kind of, I mean, I would say probably at least 6 to 8 hours of replayability, like to actually beat and unlock everything in those dojos. Like, I'm not going to beat it that quickly, but if you were good at it,
I don't think it would actually take that long. I think it's just it wears you out. I think it just kind of it's possible.
It's
but,
50 per
but
dojo, right? And then it's and so
What I'm saying is
like
to,
that.
what I'm saying is to unlock everything.
yeah.
Oh, to
Like,
unlock everything.
To get
Oh,
3
yeah.
stars on each of them
Oh, yeah.
take forever.
Yeah,
get
absolutely.
stars, get everything unlocked. That would be like a huge undertaking.
It is tough as hell to
Yeah,
get those
it's really
stars. It is so hard. But that has been like, like I said, when you get into this moment of you're sitting there with your lightsaber, you're kind of vulnerable from like every side besides your back. And you like the stuff I was doing, like, what I was going to say was like around level every like 10 levels or so, they kind of introduce new droids and stuff. And now I'm at level 30. There's these brand new looking droids with like sabers or like bats or batons or something, laser batons. And they look different. They're stronger. They're faster. They're like all this, they're a lot different. So it just gets brutal in terms of difficulty. And I love that because it's going to force you to get better at it. And I don't think most people are going to end up beating the dojo. I think they're going to get bored or get frustrated at one point and stop. But still, for the people like me that are crazy and refuse to give up, it's perfect.
So I don't think people will get bored. I think the thing is, like, some of them are so goddamn hard. You really have to put some effort into it.
Yeah.
But there are so many people out there, and I know in our community, not just you, there's a bunch of people out there who will try to get everything, try to unlock everything, try to beat the whole damn game. And that would be quite an undertaking. So there's more here than just like, if you play the campaign and you're like, I don't know if I liked it that much. Don't skip the dojos. Like, Genetic Blasphemy has been in here saying, hey,
He's
I don't
very
like
angry
it
about this.
And last night, what I kept saying to him is like, have you tried the dojos? And he said, no, I haven't. I just played the campaign.
I don't even
Oh,
recommend
play
this game
dojos?
if you don't play
What?
the dojos.
You have to, that's like a huge part of the game.
I didn't realize that was Genetic Blasphemy you were talking about, dude. Because I was like, Genetic Blasphemy, I want you to be here. I want you to be vocal and say what's on your mind because you're very upset about this.
I don't know. It was last night.
And
So.
you hadn't even played the dojo yet. Come on, man.
Yeah. Now, I don't even recommend this if you're not playing the dojos because it's fine. I like the story and I thought it was really fun to go through and it was really engaging. But for $30, if you're not going to play the dojos, then fucking wait for a sale, man. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've already spent 2 times more time in the dojos than I have with the campaign. But real quick, guys, we let this tip get away from us. Scott Jesco with the $4.99 quid. PSN Harry fella, still at work. Only 6 more hours before I get to watch. It was awesome, and luckily he's not here to realize how late we were on this tip. But future Scott Jesco asks, "What's your 3's favorite Star Wars games of all time?" Hashtag PSVR Gamecast for life.
It's tough. That's really tough.
It's not tough for me. I got a good one.
Probably, I would say either X-Wing or X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. Those kind of blend together to me, but like one of those old school, like
but
that.
Not KOTOR?
You said 3. So that's my first one.
No, what, us 3? We don't want to hear 3. We want to hear your favorite. Us 3, what are our favorites?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, KOTOR is probably the best one.
Well, I think
KOTOR's
KOTOR is the best.
but-
My favorite.
Dude, Rebel Assault 2 on PlayStation 1, full motion video. It was not good, but it was my favorite. And I don't think I've ever played a Star Wars game more times over and over and over and over than I did Rebel Assault 2. Again, not good, but I played the fuck out of it. I loved it.
That's the thing. I love Star Wars games. I've been playing Star Wars games since the NES. And I grew up on a lot of Star Wars games. I had the trilogy, the Super NES
trilogy was so good.
Yes, those were incredible, and I beat all 3 of them without codes. They were hard as fuck, but I beat them all. People mentioning, dude, Jedi Power Battles for PS1, where it had like co-op and it was like a side-scrolling beat 'em up, or like 3D platforming beat 'em up. That was incredible.
I mean, you liked Bloody Roar. I can only assume you liked Masters of Terras Kasi.
He's already said he liked Masters of Terras Kasi.
I'm not proud of it.
I missed it. Damn it.
I played a bunch of it when I was a kid because I liked Star Wars, but not because it was a good game. There's a
difference between liking something and saying it's a good game. I think Bloody Roar is a great game. I don't think Masters of Terras Kasi was great.
I don't think anyone
but
thinks that's a great game.
I still liked it because I don't know, it's something about it. It just looked good at the time, and it was like, I don't know, it had like moves and stuff.
Did you
I
guys
had the
play the
magazine.
Phantom Menace PS1 game? Like
I think
because
so,
there was
yeah.
Jedi power battles, but there
That
was
one,
also
yeah.
like the one that you played through the story, like a third-person action
I
game.
like that one actually. You could reflect the lightsaber stuff back. It's kind of fun. That was a cool one. I also like Rogue Squadron a lot. I wish I could play Rogue Squadron again.
Yeah, wasn't
I
Rogue
guess
Squadron? They
Rogue
had a few on the GameCube, right?
Yeah, GameCube. That's the one where you got to go like not just dogfighting in space, but like down onto the planets and do like kind of over, skimming over, tying up AT-ATs, cool stuff like that from the movies.
Yeah, good
Those
call.
games was really
No
But
N64
Kotor-
love?
Combat racing. But yeah, so anything let's finalize our thoughts here.
Dude,
I mean, David Moore with the $5 donation says, wondering if Vader Immortal is more of an experience and not a game. Is it the best experience on PSVR? If it's an experience, not a game.
It's not the best experience on PSVR if it's an experience only, but it's not either or, it's both. There is an experience and there is a game. If you want to try the lightsaber stuff, that's a whole game to play. I think. I don't know.
I think I actually have it as like one of the better experiences. Like what are the? I mean, look at the other experiences.
Well, I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's top. It's up there. Like
it's up there. Yeah, I still think Ace Combat 7 is like the best experience, but
yeah, it depends how you classify these things. It's
yeah,
really
it depends
tough.
on what you're.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say, yeah, if you're looking for an awesome PSVR experience, then this immediately becomes more likable because you're not expecting a game out of it.
Right. I think that's one of the things too, is I had the proper expectations. Dave helped me set my expectations properly, said that, it's going to have some technical issues, that it's a short experience, that it's not going to be like, this huge deep story. And so I actually got and he said there was a couple sections where you fight through the story, but he said the main stuff is in the dojo. And so I got more than I was actually expecting from the experience part of it, from the story part of it, because I had my expectations very low. And I understand not everybody can do that all the time. It should be, no matter what, anybody with any expectations play something and be like, this is amazing, right? Like that means that it's really good. But Shadow of the Empire. Oh yes.
Right, N64, right?
Yeah, I did like the pod racing game too.
You guys want to take a phone call on the air?
Who's calling?
I don't know. Hello, PSVR Gamescast Live. Nope.
They didn't say anything.
Nope. Telemarketer, I'm guessing. Yep.
But yeah, I like arcade games.
Calling guests at the end of the show.
Yeah.
I like arcade games, and I had a very arcade game vibe from the dojo, especially Dojo 3, where there's stuff popping in on the screen, left, right. It gives you a little indicator that something's about to happen and stuff. And I think it could be a lot better, but I think it's good. I think it needed some. It still needs some improvements, some major improvements.
Some major polish.
Yeah, but graphically, lighting. Sound design I thought was really good.
Yeah, especially sound design. There are a couple audio glitches, but overall the sound design itself is good.
Final thoughts? If you want final thoughts, my final thoughts is this. This is exactly how a game can have 1,000 problems and still be really enjoyable. And I found it to be really enjoyable. And that's why I can spend half my review going, and this is a problem, and this is a problem, and this is a problem, and that's a problem, but watch out, because if this is going to irritate you, this is really going to irritate you. And then go 8.2. Because sometimes a game is more than the sum of its parts. It's always actually more than some of its parts, and that was the case with Vader.
I was worried at the beginning because all of you guys were coming in real negative at the start, and I was like, we're just talking about all the bad stuff. And if someone's just here watching this part of the show and they leave, they're going to think that we don't like this game. But really, that is the case. There are downfalls, there are shortcomings, but it's fucking good. It's really cool. And
as long as it improves. As long as because they're making Tales from the Galaxy's Edge next, if they can take all this feedback and improve on the game where it is, I said that as a start, I think it's a solid start as a Star Wars experience. I think for those wanting some deeper gameplay, better story, stuff like that, probably going to be Squadrons. Squadrons is probably going to be the superior game here.
A lot better. Touch a lightsaber in Squadrons,
right?
So that's a trade-off. You'll never see Darth Vader in Squadrons. That's
true.
So Squadrons is going to be a little less canonical, a little less, oh damn, cool Star Wars, and more.
Well, it
just
actually
like,
takes place after Return of the Jedi, but I know what you mean.
you're not going to meet Darth Vader. I assume. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you could be wrong. You could be wrong.
Can we all pressure
Hopefully-
Nick to call into the show? Can we just pressure Nick
No.
publicly? Call into the show.
Yeah, let's
Have
get
my
it.
number. We're gonna put you on speakerphone, and you're gonna rate this 1, 2, or 3, and give your impressions.
Call in. Drew could call in.
Yeah,
Sure.
Nick, do it. Nick,
Just waiting. I'm like,
call in and tell us your
Waiting.
1, 2, or 3.
There's a little bit of a delay, so give him like 10 seconds to catch up
Yeah.
here.
We're gonna have
Okay, we're-
one caller feedback. Call in and tell us their opinion on Star Wars.
right. I mean,
First time.
anyone who has my number,
PSVR with
feel
that
free to
Parole,
call.
Go ahead. Nick from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He's not from
Nick,
Wisconsin.
Not
You gotta
from
say PSVR Gamescast live. You're on the air.
Okay.
What's your name?
That's what I just said. Well, I guess it didn't come through.
No, it came through. I like it. Everyone's backing us up. Yeah. So wait, this wasn't actually free at the Quest launch, right? This was free if you bought a Quest or something. Like it was like a.
If you bought a Quest, you actually got all 3 chapters for free for a limited time. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's a permanent deal. I don't think.
What the hell, Nick?
I don't think it's happening. I don't think Nick likes us enough to call into the show, right? I don't think it's gonna happen. Whoa! Oh,
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
my phone said my phone
Hey,
gave me a number
hey,
and then
dude.
said maybe Nick? Question mark.
Do it.
Hello, PSVR Gamescast Live. Who's calling?
Hello, this is Nick Milo.
And, and,
wow, he's one of our moderators, isn't he?
and Nick, what do you think of Vader Immortal on PlayStation VR?
Well, here's the thing. I haven't played it on PlayStation VR.
Hang up
What the hell?
hang up on
Apparently, this is a prank call.
Hang up on him. Hang
Somebody
up
else
on
can
him.
call it.
Is
Give
your
everybody your
refrigerator
phone number in
running?
the chat, and then whoever's played it can call you.
No, I loved it on Quest, but yeah, I would say on Quest it's a 1.
On Quest, it's a 1. Fantastic.
But yeah, it sounds like PlayStation has some issues.
A few issues for sure. Hack the Gamecat says you should have said, "Hey guys, long time listener, first time caller."
Yeah.
Right.
We started asking me questions first.
I did. I know. I didn't give you a chance to play the role. All right, man. I'm hanging up. We're gonna finish the show.
Well, see you later.
Later. All right. Fantastic.
Next time you call in and want to have an opinion on a game, play the damn game first, guys. Damn it.
Hey, he played it
All
on
right.
Quest. He played the quote unquote inferior version, and it turned out to be the superior version. Ridiculous. Nick,
Superior. Don't go around saying it's superior. It looks way better on PSVR. I'll tell you that.
So to me, the rating scale system is 1, go out and buy it right now. 2, buy it on sale or if it's your thing. And 3, stay away from it. This is a strong 2 for me.
totally.
Wait, what is it?
Strong
2?
too.
Yeah, like
Totally
if
strong
you,
too.
to me, if like,
I mean, a 1.
I mean,
I
I'm
think
okay
you
with a 1. I think you
It's-
should. I think once they fix the minor thing, it's
Like
a 1.
if you know what you're getting into 1, I think it's really cool.
Clear,
But
yeah. I said very, very strong 2. Like very, 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 very strong 2.
Yeah.
For all my Star Wars fans out there, my friends, Star Wars friends out there, they already have it and they loved it. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're a Star Wars fan, which most of you guys probably are, right?
nerds.
Nerds.
So we've got a bunch of sales to go through.
Oh my God,
Big
we have
shout out to
sales.
Durant
Okay.
fans,
All right.
VR.
But it's
So
already been
it is
3 hours.
It
I'm
is
ordering
time
now.
for
If it gets
PSVR has got talent. This is how we do this, guys. We are going to go down a list of games that are currently on sale, and then we're going to basically give them a thumbs up, thumbs down. Each of us can have a different opinion on the game. We don't all 3 have to agree
That's for
or
sure.
like it. And we
Or even
also
like
want
each
to see
other.
your thumbs up, and we want to see your thumbs down in the chat. Give us some extra opinions, some support. First game is Bloody Zombies for $5.99.
Yes.
This is a hell no.
The hell no.
Hell no for me. Yeah, this game wants to be a side-scrolling NES Double Dragon, and it is not good. It's, by the way, it's broken. It doesn't work. You can't even beat it. So I'm going to say no. I don't recommend you buy a broken game for $6.
I thought this game was great. I know people said it was broken. I never experienced that specifically. And getting to play online multiplayer, doing like a kind of a 3D brawler
It's
sort of
not
thing.
even that good. It's not even that good.
I thought we didn't have to agree.
We don't.
Okay. For $6, don't buy it for more than that.
They're giving it a thumbs up.
Oh, yeah.
Gamescast
The cats know what's up, man. It's a fun
there's this
game.
one.
Hold on. On this one, I'm going to give it a middle of the road. I don't really love Bloody Zombies too much. There's something about it that just never really hooked me. And
I like those kind of games.
I love those kind of games. That's why I was disappointed with it. Because I don't think that doing 2D sprites flat in a 3D plane in VR is the greatest implementation of a beat 'em up in VR. Because I think that just felt off to me for some reason. Like, it works in 2D if you're a little flat guy and there's a flat guy here. But something about it felt not up to snuff for me. I don't love Bloody Zombies. I'd give it a middle of the road.
I don't like it flat. I don't like it flat. It looks so generic flat, but then when you put that VR headset on and you can look all the way down the level each side, I'm like, yeah, there's something very cool about that. But again, I'm not like, oh my god, you need this game. I'm just saying for $5-6, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd rather play Streets of Rage than I'd play this VR.
I guess most of the cats like it. There's some of them don't seem to like it, but yeah. Well, you better be prepared for the rest of this list before you go out and buy it. Concrete Genie is $14.99.
Not for the VR part, no.
Yeah, for the VR mode alone, no. I actually paid $30, I think, for this, or $40.
I bought full price, and I liked
just for the VR. I did like it, but I wish it was like a separate $5 thing.
Have you played? Have either of you guys played the flat version? Just out of curiosity.
Nope.
No, I didn't play the flat one
because it looks like a game I would really enjoy, and I just haven't had time to spend with the flat version yet.
It's probably a fantastic thing.
If you have any interest in the flat one, the VR mode is actually quite a stellar addition to a flat screen game. Like, as far as that shit goes, I like it way better than the Tomb Raider's VR mode, or like half of these other games that have a VR mode where you're just you don't.
No,
really?
I thought Tomb Raider was really impressive. I thought it was really cool.
Tomb Raider was just you walking around a house looking at documents. And
but
shit
the house looked great.
This actually has some creativity, and you get to like spring up around you this almost like, out of your fingers, this animated, like 3D beautiful environment. And I feel like if somebody had never played VR before and you put them in that, they'd be like, wow, this is incredible. And if you put them in the Tomb Raider thing, they'd be like, what the fuck is this? So I'm just saying it's got more magic than a lot of those other things do. So
it's not a quality thing. It's a value and a price thing for me. If you're only playing the VR.
If you're only playing VR, then don't buy it.
Yeah,
probably.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a no.
So thumbs up for me. But still, great game. Not saying it's bad or anything.
Right. And man, if you're interested in the 2D version, it just looks so pretty. And like I would, if I was, it sounds like a great price for that game, but I haven't played it. So don't listen to me. Real quick, Bel Ramio, the game cat, with the €5 donation says, don't forget Operencia in the sales, 40% off, 18. So basically, it's the same sale in Europe as we're having here, 18 instead of
definitely
30.
say yes
that is
to Operencia because Mr. Game Cat Canaveral, it is going VR for free. So I would say if you want an old school dungeon crawling RPG, I would probably say yes while it's on sale.
Absolutely.
Now is your best chance. All right, next we have Honor and Duty Arcade Edition for $3.99.
Just buy D-Day.
Just buy D-Day.
Arcade.
Yeah. So let me skip that one. That's a no because that's the old one. Honor and Duty D-Day is $7.49.
Yes.
If you have PS Plus, it's $4.99.
It's $5 buy it.
Yeah.
Don't you need PS Plus to play it anyways? Like, if you could play it,
that's an excellent point.
I think you do. Actually.
So if you guys can play it, it's $5.
Right. And you get to hear my voice as the announcer. And on top of that, there is a game going on directly after the show tonight. So as Albert keeps reminding us.
I've already ordered pizza, so I will not be there.
Oh, I can't wait for pizza.
I think
for pizza.
Real quick, we did miss we've got a donation from Sue Miles.
I'm so sorry,
£5 donation. She says, if you met someone you really liked, had a few moments to think when they asked, why do you love VR? What would you show them? What would best impress?
Ocean Descent.
Rush of Blood.
I answer every question with Resident Evil 7. Thank you.
Boom.
Seriously, that's so impressive. If you want to be like, what do you love about VR? I'm like, being scared out of my fucking mind. That's what I love about VR, Sue Miles. Thank you so much for the donation. Sorry we slipped on that one. I apologize.
So Honor and Duty D-Day was a thumbs up from all of us because, especially if you play with the cats, if you don't join our Discord, maybe not, but if you do join our Discord, do it.
Andrew, let me see your thumb. Put your thumb up.
Why?
Just put it up. What do you mean why? Okay, you and I got the curvy thumbs. I think I got the curviest one. Brian's is like very straight up and down.
I've got kind of long fingernails right now.
Oh, I just trimmed mine before the show because I thought somebody might look.
I'm double jointed in both of my thumbs.
Delirium Drew with the $4.99 donation says, Monocle guy. Is Honor and Duty still on sale? I heard like a dozen Game Cats are going to be playing it after Gamescast Live.
Is it a baker's dozen Game Cats?
Yes, there's going to be a lot of Game Cats playing, so make sure you join the Discord after you pick it up. If you do, come play with us. Never Out for 2.39 is a puzzle game. No. You say no, it's really cheap, but no.
It's just not fun. It's boring, and they really ruined the VR thing by doing the blinking thing whenever you change your perspective.
It's like a Gear port or something, like a Samsung Gear or like Oculus Go port.
Go, yeah, something like that.
All right, so then we have Perfect. Where's J Meow at? Perfect for $3.99. I'm still gonna say no because you can make something, you can play something 10 times better in Dreams. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. There's more pretty stuff in Dreams, and you can turn it into a game, or you could play Zing: The Land Beyond. Next, we have Pixel Ripped 1989 for $7.49 or $5.99 with plus.
Yes.
Hell freaking yes.
It's
Pixel Ripped 1989.
It's the better of the two Pixel Ripped games. I'm sorry to tell you that, Anna, but your first game was better than your second game, and I think by a pretty significant margin, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I agree.
Funny because I'm just about to bring up that the second game, they just released the soundtracks for free. Nice. They have two soundtracks, and then there's also like a jazz remix version of some of the tunes that's like they have a different name for it. It's like Pixel Jazzed 1995 or something like that, but it's like free on Steam and I think streaming services now.
Shockingly, I must agree, Brian. I liked the second game, but it was too clean, it was too safe, and it just wasn't wild enough. It didn't have that attitude like the first one had, and for that but yeah, Pixel Ripped 1989 is on sale. Get it. 3 yeses from us. That's usually a good thing. Speaking of yeses, Shooty Fruity is $8.99 right now. Absolute hardcore freaking yes.
One of the best wave shooters for sure.
Honestly, Pixel Ripped and Shooty Fruity are probably two of the highest on this sale right now that I could recommend.
Wow.
Fantastic games. Shooty Fruity is so good. And then we have Space Rift Episode 1 for $4.99 or with PS Plus $2.99.
Wow.
Okay.
It's hard to say no to a $3 game, but
I'm going to fight Brian on this one.
I can't wait because I'm just like
Okay, first of all, wait. First of all, we want to clarify. Pixel Ripped 1995 was a great game, right? I see in the chat people are confused. It's a great game, but there wasn't much variety. That was a big problem for me. It was like if there should have been like a Doom level, if like a first person shooter level. There were so many different things to take advantage of in '95 that they didn't, and it felt like every single thing was a side scrolling platformer ish thing. It was anyway.
Lots of love for Shooty Fruity in there, by the way.
Yes, and there should be.
And Pixel Ripped.
Absolutely should be 100%.
Fantastic.
But yeah, if you like 95 is a great game. What are we talking about? What game? Remind me.
Space Rift Episode 1.
Yes. Are you gonna let me go first? Is what's happening?
Well, I already went first. I said
whatever you want.
Okay.
I'll go first if you want.
Go ahead. Go first. Go ahead. I want to refute your argument.
I played this for about 10 minutes, and it was such a piece of crap. I turned it off and deleted it and never played it again. Moved it into my bad folder. It is terrible. It has aged horribly. I'd rather play an adventure game from LucasArts in 1995, point-and-click adventure. Or no, I'd rather play a shareware from 1995 on the computer.
Dude, Commander Keen was the shit.
So many games were shareware before like Quake was shareware. I don't know. I think this game's not that good. Yeah, this game's not that good. Okay. Brian, do you love this game?
So I don't love it, right? And I honestly haven't played it in about 2 years, so bear with me here. I remember the cutscenes or like all the interactions between the missions being awful. Like the voiceovers were distorted, horribly acted. The perspective was all off. The scale of your co-pilot or whatever the hell it was, awful. But when you're out on the missions, I remember I played through the entire game. There's so much mission variety, and it really felt like it was way different than like say End Space, right? End Space, you just go out there and you're basically shooting guys in every single level, and it looks slightly different. This doesn't look that pretty, but there's a lot of mission variety, and I would say that for $5 or less, yes, but don't pay more than that.
It's not just the way it looks. It does look like shit, but it also sounds like shit too. And it has the worst voice acting I've ever heard in my life. It sounds like a dude recorded this in his garage and like has no ability to do any voice acting whatsoever. And just all those things just bleh. It doesn't even have a second episode. Didn't even finish it.
Name one episode game besides Vader that has an episode 2.
Damn it, I was going to say Vader. Pixel Rip 1995.
That's not an episode 1, episode 2.
That is an episode 1. That is episodic.
Silent Oath. Episode 1. It has to say episode 1 in the title. Space Rift episode 1, Fate, Silent Oath episode 1.
We could have a whole conversation about this.
I feel like there is something that has an episode 2.
But Immortal Legacy, chapter 1. We're not. Where's chapter? We're not chapter.
It's called Immortal Legacy. It's called Immortal Legacy: The Jade Cipher. Period.
Isn't that episode 1 of an ongoing series? They just
you just said it had to say episode 1 in it, and it just doesn't say episode 1.
Right. I'm just saying these developers like it's episodic. It's like no, it's not. You're selling one game, and then I'm never going to see you again.
Well, but you can as long as it's clear that like we were never getting Mortal Blitz episode 2 for free, then I don't mind what I paid for episode 1. As long as that's the case, if they were said, don't worry, we're going to bring you episode 2 and 3 as free DLC, then I'd be wicked pissed. But I'm like, I paid for what I got, and I was happy with it. That's it. Okay, what's the next game? We got to move on.
Next game is Surgeon Simulator ER for $6.99.
No, so bad, so bad.
I'm gonna say no.
It's not the worst.
It's not horrible. It's not horrible. It's goofy. It's like if you're goofy stuff. They actually announced Surgeon Simulator 2 today, but I think it's Epic Game Store and not VR.
Know what you're going to get to. So Surgeon Simulator is one of those games where it's like purposefully really difficult and stupid. And so like in flat screen, that's one thing. But in VR, you pick it up expecting like, oh, it's a Surgeon Simulator. And if you don't know the history and the background of this series of games, you're not going to get what the fuck is going on because it's purposefully stupid and hard to play. But it doesn't tell you that before you play the game. So,
and even if you do know the history of the games and you expect this, it's still not fun. It's still not fun. Like that was, and I was like, wow, the goofy controls are one thing, and I would have loved it if it was goofy controls. And I was like, oh, I'm trying to manage my like flappy arms or something. But no, it just wasn't fun at all.
All right, so big no from all of us. The Assembly for $11.99.
Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up.
I haven't played this either.
Brian, should AJ and I buy it and stream it?
Yeah, should we buy it?
So I'd mentioned to you earlier, Dave, that like streaming games with a ton of voiceover, a ton of dialogue isn't a lot of fun because like you're hearing that and you're hearing the chat and it's just you're trying to communicate with people sucks. And this game is very much an adventure game where you're listening to dialogue a lot. And so I don't think you should stream it, but I think it's a great game that you both should play. It's a full-fledged adventure game and it's great. It's really good.
Okay.
So I'm gonna buy it, and if it sucks,
coming back to you for that money.
I'm gonna find you because I know where you live now.
Well, so also we know where he lives, but he got $100 tip. So if he makes us buy this, he owes us each $12 because I know he's got.
It's true. Will you refund us if we don't like it? Will you refund us if we don't like it?
I'll give Dave $12 off the pizza that he owes me. How about that?
I don't owe you pizza.
Oh, I don't owe you $12.
Oh, fuck.
The Assembly's awesome.
This is why I say, guys, if you make pizza bets, we have to stick to them. If you make pizza bets, I'm a man of my word, okay? Don't make me not live up to my word.
Don't make me not live up to my word.
That's the worst catchphrase I've ever heard.
Serious. I'm serious. No, I don't. These pizza bets are dumb if you're not going to actually do them. If you're not going to actually follow through with them, then they're stupid, and you do not deserve to make pizza bets if you can't follow through with them.
All right, I don't remember all the pizza bets. Let's write.
I remember them on purpose, and I've got them on episodes too.
Excellent.
I think. No, there was. We've got some on the Iron Man one. There was the loading screen ones. I just don't want it to be like every single time we make a pizza bet, it's like, oh, I don't remember. It's like, no, I take these pizza bets seriously, man.
I take them wicked seriously, man. Pizza's more important than life.
Pizza's a serious matter. Okay,
pizza is life. Okay, what's our next game, AJ?
All right. Sorry, the Persistence for $23.99. Did you know that this is a top 10? Is it? Oh, maybe it's not top 10 anymore.
I don't know. You guys really screw up this top 25 list every single time.
Yeah, it says Mr. Pinball. No, I'm just saying.
I like that title. I'll be Mr. Pinball. I'm going to change my name in my tag right below me. Mr. Pinball.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, get the Persistence. What the fuck are you doing? You should already own the Persistence. It's so good.
If you don't own it, must play stuff. It's horror, it's roguelike, it's stealth. It does all these things very well. The only downside is it doesn't use motion controllers, but you don't need them. It's just fine without them. Head tracking is great.
Yeah, I think it's been on sale for less. I think that's the only downside is that it's been on sale for less, but still
$15, right?
Yeah, I think so. But still, if you don't have it, it's still a great game, and you'll get a ton of time out of it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. All right, guys, ladies and gents.
Was that it?
Last one.
That is
the
conclusion to the Gamescast.
Oh my god, thank you so much. Yeah. All right, well, in that case, let's wrap things up here, guys. I want to give a shout-out to all of our moderators who keep this ship afloat. It would be much, much harder to run the show if they weren't taking care of stuff behind the scenes and keeping the chat in line. You crazy motherfuckers. We've been watching you. We saw everything you said. So shout out to all of them. Also, shout out to our guest caller this week, Nick Mulo, the Game Cat. I'm sure we'll have to do that.
I want to bring that back as a feature.
I think we should. I think every week we should get a guest caller. Thank you to everybody who donated. Really, really appreciate it. You guys are keeping the channel afloat. Thank you to everybody who participated in the chat. And also thank you to every single person who sat out there, watched the show, and didn't say a goddamn word. Because as you know, I was one of you before you all made me talk way too much. Oh, God. We've got two more tips before we move on.
Real quick before we get to the tips, as the wrap-up kind of thing here, I just want to say, housekeeping-wise, I mentioned this on Viewer Takeover, but this Sunday, as we will do every Sunday, we're having movie night in the Discord. If you guys are not already in the Discord, it's been a lot of fun. We're doing this every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We have a few trailers beforehand. We show the Regal roller coaster every time, which is a lot of fun. And then
which is new to me. New to me, and I didn't grow up with that.
It's for me, it's so nostalgic, but I'm glad that other people can enjoy it. But this week is Princess Mononoke by the great Studio Ghibli. Yeah, Miyazaki.
I'm finally going to see this movie, so everybody shut up and watch the movie.
Shut up.
See this movie.
It's a great
one. I haven't seen it yet.
But we will be doing subtitles, so even if people talk, you can still see what's going on.
Try not to abuse the voice chat, because we do want to listen to everybody talk, and kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000 it. But if you abuse it, then it kind of ruins the fun for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
right.
So tips. You got that first one, Brian?
Do I think... First one comes from Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat. He says, great show, guys. Have a great weekend, Game Cats. Hashtag Game Cat Army. Thank you very much, Donatello.
All right.
We love you.
Next one gets the tree guy. That's Genetic Blasphemy. $10 donation. Says, sorry I was so sour, guys. I'll do the dojo, Dave. You better do the dojo. And come back and tell me what you think about it. He says, I'll take my disappointment with Vader and turn it into creative dreams energy.
Nice.
And learn my tutorials so I can make my own crappy experiences.
Look at that.
That's
Damn.
great.
I mean, look at that. Look at the humility he has to do donation and say that. That is, you have balls, Genetic Blasphemy, and I like balls.
I want to say this. He was like, I'm so sorry I was mean about Vader. I think I'll learn dreams so I can make my own shit.
Yeah.
It's like,
well played.
It's so well played. Backhanded, like it's great.
And the final tip comes from Danny Deadhack with $5 donation saying, good job.
Good job.
Good job right back at you, Danny Deadhack. We love you all. Guys, so wait, I know there was something else I wanted to say before we left. Join the Discord. Links in the description. Obviously, you want to get into that Honor and Duty D-Day game that's going on tonight that Albert keeps pimping the entire time. And that is it. Thank you all for joining us. This was one hell of a show. We love you all. Subscribe to Dave at Dave Station VR. Subscribe to AJ at PlayStation VR Underground. And my name's Brian. This is PSVR Gamescast. And we're out.
Hack the Game Cat says, I like balls. AJ 2020, Delirium True VR, Angel, Gamer Chick 13. I know you're late. I'm sorry. You can rewind the episode.
Hey, Gamer
There's a
Chick,
lot of
you better call in next week for that new
Yes.
segment.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, we do have a new segment where we have somebody call in and talk about the game of the week or something. Elvert says no abusers allowed. Mustard Custard, it's slow AF. Robert Sullivan, hello. You got cold yogurt? Jason Ewing, or actually he says Jorb is British slang. I don't think Jorb is. I think it's something else. Sue Miles, Danny Deadhack, thank you for the donation. War Garble 2, Fish Laser, Fish Laser. Kramer 3K. Oh, shout out to Wargarble for getting featured on
Seriously.
and Ed Doran for getting featured on the PlayStation blog magazine, their games. Wargarble got me mentioned, but everybody knows.
Did I miss it?
I want to say real quick.
I didn't realize Ed Doran got a shout out too. I missed that totally.
They buried Tectonic in that list. Tectonic.
Oh yeah, Tectonic was on it too.
I don't know if it was alphabetical or what, but like
They also had Left to Rot on that list, and last time I checked, I talked to that dude, and he said it wasn't even VR compatible.
it
I
wasn't
don't
just
know.
VR games. It was both VR and non-VR.
Okay.
But it does make me want to try something. So, Kramer 3K says, cheers, guys. Mr. GameCat Carnavo, Perfected Insanity. Thank you for the donation. And thank you for sharing your open opinion on the thing. That's what we wanted. Hack the GameCat has to let y'all. Decepticon, GG. DJ, the Pumpkin Patch Kid, GG. Zach Lightning, David. Actually, it's David Andrew C. I think that is almost everyone. Just incredible VR, always making me laugh. Guy son, fist bump to you. Con artist.
Dave, I'm on my way. I hope you're ready to share your pizza. I'm heading to your house.
Oh, really? It's only a
Pizza time.
It's only a medium.
Well, maybe you should up that to 3 large pizzas.
It's already in the oven right now.
Good night, everybody. We love you
Cinnamon
all.
Twists coming in.
Yeah.
Love cinnamon twists in the chat. Give me shout out for cinnamon twists.
Cinnamon Twist. What the fuck are Cinnamon Twists?
It's from Domino's. They're delicious.